weathered every storm and re-intensified the Hurricanes around speed and depth in the backfield and an array of receivers that put fear in defenders' eyes. Washington's spirits soar again, too, with a brash young coach who knows that the fate of UW lies in the hands and feet of its magnificent quarterback. The lead dog of the Huskies pulls his team together and points toward an upset. Husky Stadium in Seattle. And here comes the pride of the Northwest. They come from near and far in every form of transportation to get here for the number 15 Huskies against the 4th-ranked Hurricanes of Miami. Hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. Welcome to Seattle. This is only the second matchup of these two storied programs in series history, but they do have some history behind it. In '91, they had to share a national championship. In 1994, the Huskies went down to the Orange Bowl and snapped a 58-game home winning streak for the University of Miami. My partner's Bob Greasy. Two good quarterbacks in this one, Robert, and guys that get it done in different ways, starting with a senior for Washington.
Well, if you haven't seen Marcus Tuiasosopo for Washington, you're in for a real treat. He is the heart and soul of this offense. He's not a great passer, but he is an outstanding football player. He needs to play big for Washington today.
And on the other side of the football, for Miami, a guy made in the mold of Bernie Kosar, a pocket passer and a young guy.
Very tall, very strong, the big bird type, very intelligent, making his 5th start only and his first road start. That's a key. He's been very efficient, only 2 interceptions, 150 or so passes, but he needs to play well today. This place would be noisy. It's going to be rough on him. We'll see how he acts. He needs to play well, too, for Miami.
A very hostile environment. As the two teams get set to square off, they're the preseason picks in their respective conferences to take the title. This is a big step toward national prominence. Miami and Washington coming up from Seattle next. They come by boat. They come by car. Some people take the cheap route in. That's across the bridge to the stadium. Lynn Swan, 3rd man of our team, with the head coach of the Huskies. Swanee?
I'm with Rick Neuheisel. And Rick, this is a big ball game. How do you get your team prepared knowing that they're the underdogs in this game?
Well, our kids are excited to be in this kind of contest. We've talked a lot about both programs having been national champs early in the 90s and now on their way back. And we've got as much chance as they do today to try to get one step closer back to that elite ranking.
If speed kills, then what do the Huskies have to do to stay alive? Because Santana Moss and the Hurricanes have a lot of speed.
Well, we're going to try to deflate the ball a little bit, see if we can keep those talented guys off the field as much as possible. And that's going to be a tall order in itself because they've got a very talented defense.
Tactical, strategic football game. Good luck to you, Coach.
Thanks very much. It should be a good one.
And guys, while everyone is looking for a victory in this ball game, in the bigger picture, this is a game that's important to the Pac-10. Last week, when the Pac-10 opened up conference play against teams outside the conference, are 7-0. It's a big weekend. This game itself, with both teams, as Brad said earlier, looking to win their conferences, favored to win their conferences, becomes a measuring stick for everyone else to look at and will have an impact on the Big East and the Pac-10 throughout the season, Brad.
And who knows, maybe the national championship, because the folks in Miami are dreaming of that. Miami won the toss and deferred, so they'll be kicking off. And Todd Severs has got it teed up back deep for the Huskies to Ray Butler and Derek Johnson. All set for a big matchup at Husky Stadium. 72,500 on their feet. Both teams off to a 1-0 start, but those were warm-ups. This is the real deal. 4 yards deep in the end zone, and electing not to bring it out is Ray Butler. So Washington will start things off. The Chili starting lineup. Here's the big uns up front. Silvers, Fraze, Ben, Chad Ward, a 3-year starter and an All-American possibility, and Wes Call is the other tackle. Wilbur Hooks gets his first start, has a lot of speed. Elstrom over 100 yards receiving last week. Stevens a great tight end. Paul Arnold, the tailback behind Pat Conniff, who's played with Marcus Tuiasosopo since 8th grade in Woodinville, Washington. And here's the guy that Bob talked about. Marcus Tuiasosopo, so dangerous in so many ways, and he brings the Huskies to the line. 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Going to go to the air on 1st down. Straight down the middle, tipped, and still caught, and now a fumble. Loose ball, they're going to say incomplete. Mike Rump put the hit on Wilbur Hooks, who would have had a catch. And it'll be 2nd and 10. Defensively for Miami, getting back to those Miami defenses of old. Damian Lewis made in the mold of Warren Sapp. Joseph Walters and Rhodes round out the front 4. A Butkus candidate on the inside is Dan Morgan, moved into Nate Webster's spot. Clark and Campbell flank him. The secondary, one of the best in the country. Blades and Reed are the safeties. Rump and Leonard Myers are the corners, and that's a good bunch back there.
Neuheisel's been talking all week about controlling the football. Comes out on the first play and tries a long pass.
Here's a quick throw out to Conniff out of the backfield, and he's going to be stood up. A gain of about 2, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8. The exact kind of situation Washington did not want to get in on their opening possession.
I think you're right, Brad, when you alluded to last week's games. This is college. They do not have preseason football games like the NFL does, but McNeese State and Idaho, good programs in their own right, but a different level from these two.
3 wide receivers set now as Hooks, Elstrom, and Robbins are in there. Elstrom's the main target for Tuiasosopo in a inexperienced wide receiver corps due to injury and graduation from a year ago. On a 3rd and 8. Marcus in trouble, dances away, and now finds an opening. Here he goes, and that's what he can do so well. 1st down, Husky. That thing just opened up for him. He saw that right side open up, and he just took off for it.
And there's nothing you can do about it. This was not planned. It was just improvisation by the quarterback, Tuiasosopo. He wants to throw this ball to the left. Now he says, all right, nothing's open. I'm still looking to throw. I'm just going to run. He has the God-given talent and ability to use his legs and pick up 1st downs. He's as dangerous running as he is throwing, and maybe even more so.
So a 1st down, a 12-yard pickup on the 3rd and 8, and out to the 34-yard line. Straight ground game, and that's going nowhere. Chris Campbell came in from his outside linebacker spot to make the stop.
This Miami defense is awfully good. Their defenses in the past have been in the top 5 in the nation. This group could get there. The defensive backs, some have said that may be the best group in the nation.
Yep. 2 tight end set for the Huskies on a 2nd down and 12. We're just underway. Washington with 1 1st down so far, that on the scramble by Tuiasosopo. Arnold a single setback. He's going to get the call, and still nowhere to hide. Goes down, might have lost a yard again. Dan Morgan and Howard Clark, the 2 linebackers, in on the stop.
Arnold is a young back, just a true sophomore, played a little bit last year. He could have bounced that ball outside just a little bit. It seemed like there was a hole to the outside. Going over to the left side, he would have bounced it outside of 74. Call the tackle. There was some space outside.
Had some back problems, did Arnold, and didn't play particularly well against Idaho. And he said, I'm not going to use my back as an excuse. I should have played better. And the coaches agreed with him. 3 wideouts on 3rd and a dozen for Tuiasosopo. Plenty of time. Fires complete, but it's well short of the 1st down. Justin Robbins had to make a diving catch. They only got 6 out of it, and the Huskies will have to give it up.
Here's a key matchup. Punt return for Miami with Santana Moss and the good coverage team by Washington.
Santana Moss has taken a punt return 3 of the last 4 regular season games for the Canes to the barn. And he's back waiting on it right now from Ryan Fleming. Fleming taking his time. Kick that Moss will have to field on the hop, and does. Got a little bit of a crease. They close that hole in a hurry. And now the Huskies all over.
Fumble. Was he a fumble?
The football, and they did get it.
I didn't see it come out, but
Tyler Crambring down there with a football.
This punt coverage team for the Huskies is made up of an elite group of starters on offense and defense. Let's take a look at it.
There's Crambring with a hit. He just swiped it from him.
He did. He was a backup. He was a backup linebacker. They stole the ball twice last week on special teams, and they did it again here today.
Just flat ripped it away from it. Big time play by the special team.
They're proud of that punt coverage team.
Yes, they are. Bobby Houck. Special teams have done a great job. Straight ahead with Conniff. And they get something going with the ground game. A pickup of 6 by the big fullback.
That's been a big challenge all week. Something they've been talking about. Washington has about coming in, trying to stop the punt returns of Santana Moss.
That's a way to stop it dead, huh?
Oh, for sure.
So now with field position and a 2nd down and 4, the Huskies in gear at the 29-yard line of the Hurricanes. High backfield behind Tuiasosopo. Elstrom in motion, and it's Arnold. And he got 1 or 2. Morgan, the linebacker, in on the stop. And penalty markers fly in as they're still all tangled up at the end of the play. Chuck McFerrin's our referee.
After the play, personal foul on the defense.
Personal foul against Miami. Automatic 1st down. Let's check the Dell Game Solutions, Bob.
Well, Washington on offense wants to keep the offense on the field, make 1st downs, run the ball, maybe some option. Defensively for Miami, contain Tuiasosopo. That means make the quarterback be a quarterback. Don't let him get out. Don't let him run. Slow him down.
They've let him be a running back once that got him a 1st down on their opening drive. Since then, their special teams took over with a fumble recovery, and now they're working 1st down inside the Canes 14. Braxton Kleeman comes in now as a tailback. Elstrom, the lone wideout, there to the bottom of your screen.
Yeah.
On the option, Tuiasosopo inside the 10, down to the 4. Going to be close to a 1st and goal.
The option is the toughest running play in college football to stop right here. Huge gapping hole that Miami wanted to come in and stop the quarterback and force the pitch. That time they got the worst situation of all. Not only is Tuiasosopo running it, he's got a huge hole.
And on top of that, a bad situation in that they can still get a 1st down if this isn't. But it is. 1st and goal at the 4. Rick Newhouse's got to be happy with what's happened so far.
And he knew that the special teams had to give him a boost. They came out opening drive. The offense stalled. The special teams got a fumble for him, and that's continued this drive inside the 5-yard line.
Arnold back in at tailback. 2 tight end set with Stevens and Ware. 1st and goal. Huskies trying to get on the scoreboard first. Tuiasosopo, the pitch to Arnold. And he's not going to break the tackle of Ed Reed, who came up from the secondary.
Ed Reed is an outstanding defensive back, probably the smartest player on that defensive team. Very quick and an outstanding player. Sure tackler.
One of the Thorpe candidates as the top defensive back. Butch Davis looking on, hoping that his team can come up with a couple more stops on 2nd and what would be 3rd down. Right now it's 2nd and goal just outside the 5.
They like the option inside here. They had the option run on that play, 3rd and short or inside the 10-yard line. They like the ball in Marcus' hands.
Willie Hurst is in a slot. Tuiasosopo wanted to throw. Now he scrambles to the end zone. He overshot everybody, got rid of it. Willie Hurst was out there, the intended receiver.
Smart play.
Yep. Nice pressure by Chris Campbell again, the linebacker.
Well, he had enough time to throw it. It's just that the receivers were covered, and he didn't make a big mistake by going ahead and throwing it into coverage.
They change up personnel again now as Robbins and Arnold come back into the Husky huddle, and it's 3rd and goal at the 5.
I'll be surprised to see an option here.
Stevens, the tight end, flanks out now to the left side. He's a tall target if they decide to throw that way. 3rd and goal. That's the throw. Incomplete. Penalty marker down. Ed Reed that time trying to stay with a big tight end, Stevens. And we're going to have a penalty against the Kings.
It's an automatic first down. Here's a look at it. Reed way inside of him. That's a good call. He did hit him before the ball got there, although the ball was way behind him.
Exactly.
And he would never have caught it. He did hit him before the ball got there.
Not in a million years could he have made that catch. As it is, first down. And Miami has allowed only one touchdown pass in the last 31 quarters. That was with backups in the lineup. Arnold maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. I doubt it, though. Campbell and Dangerfield, the linebacking core.
Offenses,
the stop.
Brad, like to run at this Miami defense right at it because they're so quick running left and right. You like to run right at it, but if they can shut it down in the middle, and they've got Damian Lewis, the outstanding defensive lineman, right there in the center of that defensive line.
Arnold has carried it 5 times and has -1 yards to show for his work so far. Kleeman comes in at the tailback now. Conniff behind Tuiasosopo. I'd be shocked if we don't see some kind of option here, but there it is. And the pitch, Kleeman, touchdown.
Good call, partner.
3-yard touchdown run by Braxton Kleeman, the junior. And the woofing begins as Marcus Tuiasosopo looks skyward. The Huskies lead 6-0.
The Hurricanes, penalty-wise, were last in the Big East Conference in the number of penalties. They were the most penalized team in the conference. Penalties helped that drive right there.
Anderson for the point after, and he's got it right up and in the middle. So the Huskies take advantage of the turnover. The special teams gets the offense in gear. Braxton Kleeman does the rest.
I've never heard of mushroom jack fajitas.
Well, first we combine
grilled chicken, Monterey Jack cheese, smoky bacon, and mushrooms. Chili's mushroom jack fajitas.
Okay, then.
Eat to the beat of a different drum.
When it really counts, you stand your ground. Looks like we've got a lot in common. You can always depend on Chevy to be there for you. And now, during the Chevrolet U.S. Olympic Countdown, check out the remaining selection of 2,000 Impalas. These 2,000 models will be going fast, so hurry. Don't let the selection pass you by. Make a stop at your Chevrolet dealer today for the Chevrolet U.S. Olympic Countdown.
The road is long and the road is tough.
Is your car living a tough life? Better use a tough oil. Valvoline DuraBlend, the one strengthened with synthetics to outperform all leading conventional motor oils. Valvoline DuraBlend, tough oil for a long, tough life.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
At last, Braveheart is available on DVD, featuring a commentary by Mel Gibson. Braveheart, rated R. Own it on DVD.
Hey there. Time for a holiday. So switch off your computers and take a national holiday with National Car Rental. Spend some time with National Heroes. Or visit a national treasure. Or join the National Football League. But wherever you go, let National Car Rental get you there fast. With special low rates on minivans for only $229.99 per week nationwide. Or only $289.99 per week in New York. National Car Rental. What are you waiting for? Let's go.
The hole-in-one. ABC Sports takes you there. Sunday, the Comfort Classic at the Brickyard.
Rick Neuheisel talking to his offense over there that's put points on the board following the special teams fumble recovery. And Tuiasosopo and company go down. Braxton Kleeman, the 3-yard touchdown, capped a 35-yard march in a little over 3 minutes to take the lead. John Anderson to kick high and short. Somebody better call fair catch on this one. They just made the catch and got tagged at the 29-yard line. Robert Williams.
I was on the field before the game, and Anderson was doing just that, just trying that high pooch kick off to the sideline. But you're right. They better call a fair catch on that.
That was awfully close. That's a live ball if nobody calls a fair catch. So now the Hurricanes take over for the first time offensively. The last time they touched it, Santana Moss dropped it on a punt return. Now they'll work from the 29-yard line. Ken Dorsey at quarterback, and already the fans are getting noisy. Here's the give. Jackson going nowhere. Lost yardage. Darrell Daniels made the tackle. Here's the Chile starting lineup. Up front for the Canes, Juan Gonzalez, an All-American candidate, with Bilber, Romberg, Wilkins, and McKinney. The wide receivers, blazing speed, especially Santana Moss. Reggie Wayne had 2 touchdowns last week. Mercer will start at tight end. In the backfield, Nick Partland in front of Jackson. Ken Dorsey, as Bob said earlier, making just his 5th start, and this in hostile territory. 2nd down, 11. His first throw, almost picked off. Got it a little bit out in front of his intended receiver, Reggie Wayne, and that was a dangerous throw. Omari Lowe made the play on it on the corner.
It's just not going to be as easy for this young man as it was last week. Little stop route, Omari Lowe. He gets stuck. Thought he was going a little bit deeper. When you go on the road, Brad, things aren't just the same. The grass isn't the same. Obviously the noise is not the same. At home, they're all behind you. Now there is no checking off. You can't check off in this stadium.
Huskies thinking about a blitz on 3rd down at 12. Dorsey's got to roll a bit. Wants a throwback screen the other way. Incomplete. Jackson, the intended receiver, and it's 3 and out for the Hurricanes.
Well, you would expect the young sophomore Dorsey to be a little bit on the nervous side.
And I think he was.
Yeah. But the key point is he didn't turn it over. He didn't make any mistakes. The Husky fans got this. This couldn't have started any better for Rick Neuheisel. His offense sputtered, got a special teams turnover, took it in. Defense stops him first try.
Derek Johnson back waiting on Capshaw's punt. Freddie Capshaw, nice kick. Fielded cleanly at the 30. And a penalty marker down on the return. Probably going to have an illegal block, which would negate an 11-yard run back. So let's wait and see if they take this a little bit deeper into Husky territory. Long jog downfield for our referee, Chuck McPherson. Here's
on
the
the
call.
Return, illegal block in the back.
As you normally see on those plays, illegal block. And Ken Dorsey talking upstairs. His team trails by a touchdown.
Days have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle! Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
How did Burger King get exclusive Backstreet Boys music? Simple. We wined 'em and dined 'em like only we can. Now get live music from the Millennium Tour and a new song, It's True, from their upcoming album on 3 CDs for just $2.99 each with any value meal.
The sleek, new 200 horsepower Chevy Monte Carlo SS. Hot. The side you show the world is up to you. Monte Carlo will be there.
Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan, and our ABC crew at Husky Stadium, where the hometown team has Miami, at least early, right where they want them. They're up a touchdown with 7:13 remaining in the first quarter. And Marcus Tuiasosopo brings his troops out. They huddle on the sideline and come right to the line of scrimmage. First down, Washington from its own 22. The option to pitch to Arnold. A little dance out there. Ran into Dan Morgan, as a lot of people will do this year. Morgan may be on his way to becoming the top career tackler all time in Miami history.
It was interesting talking with Rick Neuheisel and Keith Gilbertson, the offensive coordinator, yesterday. You know, these guys, when the coaches came in last year, they didn't know anything about an option. I mean, they weren't option guys. They were passing guys, West Coast offense type of guys. Rick was at UCLA. And they said, you know, the guys that knew the option were Tuiasosopo and Conniff, the two guys that did it in high school.
That's
so
right.
They kind of taught the coaches.
Play action trouble on a blitz from the corner. Tuiasosopo got away momentarily, but he didn't get away from that whole wave. Damian Lewis. It was Leonard Myers who was the guy that forced Tuiasosopo back into the pocket. Came on that corner blitz.
That was a corner blitz, and one of the things you have to do, and this is one of the things that Marcus needs to learn, is when you're on the short side of the field and the corner is up and bumped, you got to check him once you get the snap, because it's a short distance for him to get to the quarterback from there.
And he forced a 3rd and 12. All three wideouts trot to the left side for the Huskies.
Now this corner right here has a short angle to the quarterback. Doesn't count.
Going to go with a draw to Hurst. And Willie got back across the original line of scrimmage. Picked up about 4. But it's going to be 4th down and close to 8. So time to punt for the second time. First time Santana Moss had it stripped away from him.
And you know he's wanting to do something. You mentioned he had returned punts for touchdowns in 3 of his last 4 games. In the other game, he returned a kickoff for a touchdown that was called back.
He's got an itch back there. He's looking to scratch. Ryan Fleming will punt.
Good look here. Let's see if he kicks it to him or kicks away.
Or if he got it away at all. He doesn't. It's blocked. The Hurricanes are going to have it at about the 28-yard line.
Well, Washington should have gotten a punt blocked last week and got away with it. Miami came right up the middle and got one this week.
Fleming just took too long. James Lewis came flying in there. And now the Canes with a special team play of their own. That one just took too long, Bob.
Right up the middle. 2 big turnovers, 1 for each team.
At the 28 now, Miami. First down. And here's an opening. They get their ground game going for James Jackson. And he picked up about 7 in a hurry. Let's check in with Swanee.
Well, one of the things that Miami wanted to do is take the crowd out of this game in a hurry, which they didn't. And not only is this section called the dog patch for the Huskies, very noisy, but they're intelligent about it. Every time the quarterback looks like he's going audible, they increase the level of noise so he can't hear.
We can hear it coming up behind you, Lynn. Second down and 3. 3 wide receivers set for Dorsey from the shotgun. Going to go outside, complete. Andre King, and it looks like it's going to be a first down.
Now let's go back to the punt block. I mentioned last week Washington almost got a punt blocked up the middle. Take a look right here, inside again this week, right next to the center. Everybody turns out and nobody was blocking the guy that ended up blocking the punt.
First and 10, Miami. Jackson tripped on his own and goes down near the 15-yard line. Defensively for Washington, here's your Chili's front wall. Farms is the guy they want to get pressure on the quarterback. Roberson and Triplett the push inside, and Julian the other defensive end. Daniels their leading tackler last year with Kelly and Williams on the outside. And the secondary low, Akbar, Williams, and Anthony Von Tour, who's starting for the first time this season. Probably their best corner, a big guy who had 6 interceptions last year. 2nd and 9. Here's the stretch. Nice job defensively. Larry Triplett, their defensive captain, gets out there to stop Jackson. 3 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the first quarter. If you just joined us from Husky Stadium in Seattle, it is 7-0 as the Washington special team stripped the ball of Santana Moss and then took it in from 35 yards. A 3-yard touchdown run by Braxton Kleeman, but Miami has come back, blocked a punt of their own. Now they've got it 3rd and 8 at the Husky 15, looking to tie things up. Dorsey, quick throw to the 10 to the big tight end Mercer. Man, was he met head on. Curtis Williams, helmet to helmet with a big fella and brought him down, short of the first down.
Curtis Williams, outstanding safety in that secondary. From behind the defense, from the goalpost, little option route by the tight end. Got the ball there quickly, just didn't pick up the first down.
So Miami comes in. Todd Sievers, they're going to try a field goal of 27 yards from the near hash. And got it up and good. So Miami does get points out of their special team play, but it's only 3. And still, it's the Huskies leading the number 4 team in the country by 4.
To all the new e-businesses just getting started, why not talk to the company that's pioneered the business-to-business revolution on the web? One whose experience in e-commerce has become a model for doing business on the internet. One who can help you achieve the same success with your e as we have with ours. Dell knows how e works. Visit Dell.com.
Dell e-business servers use Intel Pentium 3 Xeon processors.
Do you think you're making a difference? We do. Since you started talking to your children about drinking, teenage drinking is down 45%. To all parents who are making a difference, thank you.
It's a better place to live. It's a better place to live. Thanks to you.
Everybody's got a tip. Everybody's got a sure thing. Everybody's got a cousin who works with some guy who swears that this baby is it. What everybody doesn't have is the kind of financial confidence that makes it easy to ignore what everyone else is saying. Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money. Get well connected.
There's no love lost between the Patriots and the Jets, and we're kind of happy about that. New England versus New York on Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC.
So both teams have taken miscues on the opposition's punt team and turned them into points. But Washington leads 7-3. Derek Johnson now back waiting at the 5-yard line.
Boy, optimism abounds here in Seattle with this program since Neuheisel has come. In just a year and a half, an outstanding recruiting program last year and another one in the works for this season.
Rick told us he's got a tremendous amount of big-time recruits at this game today. You know he'd love, for a number of reasons, to win it. That would be one of them. Derek Johnson from the 4. Straight up the middle. Johnson's got an opening. Got by the kicker. Got out to the 40-yard line, and Darryl Jones saved a touchdown.
Well, Jones is a speedy wide receiver. In fact, he's on the All-Big East track team for Miami. He's on there just for that reason, as a safety in case somebody breaks through.
That's 2 big plays in back-to-back weeks by number 21.
Last year, this Husky team was dead last in special teams in kickoff and punt returns. They've improved a great deal this year already.
Derek Johnson had an end around for a touchdown against Idaho. Big kickoff return there, takes it out to the 42-yard line. So excellent field position to start things for Tuiasosopo and the Huskies. Here comes a blitz. Marcus over the middle to his tight end. And that's going to be a first down to Jeremy Stevens. Edward Reed made the stop. College football on ABC Sports brought to you by Chevrolet. If only everything was as dependable as a Chevy. Chevy will be there. Chili's. I want my Chili's baby back ribs. Only at Chili's. Courtyard by Marriott, the hotel designed by business travelers. And Dell, providing the infrastructure to power your e-business. Beautiful fountain outside the University of Washington campus, where now the Huskies have moved back into Cane territory. First down at the 48-yard line. Nice cadence. Almost drew Miami offside, and now it's Conniff, the fullback. And he rumbles his way down to the 41-yard line.
Conniff is a big bull of a fullback. Doesn't get to carry the ball a whole lot. But as you mentioned, he went to high school with Tuiasosopo, so they know each other, and they know the option very well.
They've been playing together since 8th grade. We said to Marcus the other day, it must be nice to have a teammate that long. He said, yeah, we still live together.
Yeah.
Some nights, he said, we sit there and watch TV, don't say one word to each other. I said, hey, it's just like being married. Second down and 3. Inside handoff, Hurst back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it. Somebody lost their hat. 1:10 remaining in the first quarter. 7-3 Washington. Don't forget, next Saturday on ABC, more great college football regional action. Some of you'll see Anthony Thomas and number 3 Michigan take on Deshaun Foster and 17th ranked UCLA. Other regional action will be in Tallahassee for Florida State and the Tar Heels, Washington, Colorado, and others. Check your local listings for details. Get all the games on pay-per-view by calling your local cable or satellite company.
A lot of great interconference matchups with the the Pac-10 and all the different conferences this year.
Tried a little flare pass out to Conniff, his fullback, and it's incomplete on a 3rd and 3.
Big 12 Colorado playing Washington next week.
Rick Neuheisel going back to Boulder.
Back home. He said that's going to be a very emotional trip, but looking forward to it.
Santana Moss not the man dropping back in punt return formation here, as they expect that Fleming will try to knock this thing out of bounds.
It's the strong safety read. It's just the defensive. Defense just says a safe punt return, and he goes back to catch it.
Fleming had his last one blocked. This time lobs it to the near side. Does not take a very fortuitous bounce. Goes sideways out of bounds at about the 19-yard line. So not a great gain in the punting game there. Time now for our Courtyard by Marriott moment today. Takes us back 1994. As I mentioned in the open, the only other time these two schools have met. A historic meeting it was after trailing 14-3 at halftime. Huskies scored a couple of quick touchdowns in the 3rd quarter. An interception off Acosta there. Russell Hairston took it back, and it gave Jim Lambright maybe his biggest win ever. 38-20. The whammy in Miami.
Damon Heward was the quarterback on that Miami team.
On the Husky team. Now he's the quarterback.
That's right. Now he's in Miami with the Dolphins.
There you go. Here's a throw, and a nice one by Dorsey. And he zips that baby out there to the 32-yard line, complete for a first down, a pickup of 13 to Reggie Wayne.
Impressed with Dorsey, Brad, the way he moves around when he needs to. Yep. I mean, he's a big guy, 6'5". Just like we said, this is only his 5th start, and his first start on the road away from the Orange Bowl. Just has a nice feel, very intelligent. Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, telling me he is a very good kid to coach.
And a first down at the 32. Changing things up at the line of scrimmage.
Here comes the crowd. The noise comes up.
3 wideouts. Almost tripping on the handoff. Jackson cuts it up inside and picked up about 2. And we got a penalty marker down at the end of the play. So that'll stop things here. They're saying holding. Ken Dorsey at least saying holding against Washington. And our referees, Mike, we're having trouble with that so far today. Personal foul on the defense. Mistakes, you can't make too many against a good football team. Both these coaches would tell you that, and both teams have had a couple that have cost them points so far.
Yeah. I mentioned Miami being the most penalized team in their conference, so Washington, it does pretty good, and they don't get penalized too much. They're about the middle of the pack in the Pac-10.
So that moves it all the way out to the 49-yard line. Moss and King will trot out there to the left side. Again, Dorsey has to bark his signals. Going to throw to Santana Moss, in and out of his hands. They try to get a little one-man wide receiver screen out there, and it's incomplete to end the first quarter. So a couple of mistakes in the punting game so far has been.
Everything that seemed so easy last week in that big win seems so difficult here for the Hurricanes today.
At the end of one, Huskies lead 7-3.
Ladies and gentlemen, Metro Airways 56. Trans-Europe Express. Frankfurt, Rome. Airlines Flight 755.
Crush Crew from Queens, New York. And we just crushed those tired Minnesota Vikings. We burned Dwayne Run like his mama's nasty breakfast toast. Somebody call the burn unit. Yeah. What's happening, Dwayne?
Somebody help out Dwayne. Get NFL 2K1. Go online through Dreamcast and, yo, show them the web address. Look for Crush Crew and stomp these mullet-wearing, T-top driving hairballs. Stomp them. Shut up!
Chili's Awesome Blossom. Like, share one.
We argue all the time as to who has the better lawn. And really, Scott's does it for all three of us.
Now, during the summer, my grass takes a beating. What the grass needs is Turf Builder. It pumps it up, it rejuvenates it.
You gotta feed it.
Fall is the best time of year to put down Scott's Turf Builder.
Hey there, time for a holiday. So switch off your computers and take a national holiday with National Car Rental. Spend some time with National Heroes. Or visit a national treasure. Or join the National Football League. But wherever you go, let National Car Rental get you there fast. With special low rates on minivans for only $229.99 per week nationwide. Or only $289.99 per week in New York. National Car Rental, what are you waiting for? Let's go!
Back to start the second quarter at Husky Stadium, 7-3. Washington leads Miami. First quarter played really right into the hands of the fans, and what Rick Neuheisel was telling us in the last couple of days, what they wanted to do, control the ball a little bit, control the clock, and keep Miami at bay. So far they have, but you know at some point that lightning, or in this case a hurricane, will hit. 2nd and 10. Moss in motion toward the ball, and whistle, a penalty marker. Delay a game after the end of a quarter. That's almost inexcusable. Just had 3 minutes to get ready.
Well, first quarter, the coach's fault.
Here's how it went in the first quarter. The game summary: Santana Moss on a punt return. And you see, had it stripped away from him. And 35 yards later, it was Braxton Kleeman on the pitch from Marcus Tuiasosopo. Washington went up 7-0. And then the Huskies made a mistake of their own with their punt team, having one blocked. And the Hurricanes turned that into a field goal. 2nd down, 15. Dorsey from the shotgun. Going to go deep. Got a man out there, almost intercepted. Hakeem Akbar had his hands on it. Knows he should have had it. Underthrown, intended for Reggie Wayne.
Ball was underthrown. It needed to be thrown down the field. It was a skinny post. Akbar was sitting in the middle of the field. Take a look from behind the defense. Number 9 is Akbar. He's looking at the quarterback the whole way. That ball was underthrown because he didn't got hit when he was throwing it, didn't he?
Skinny post. That one was downright emaciated. Maybe he was underthrown. 3rd and 15. This is where it gets a little hard to hear for the quarterback. In trouble is Dorsey. In a lot of trouble. Down he goes. And it's Big Larry Triplett. Haddam got the early pressure, and then Triplett finished him off.
From behind the quarterback. This defense was dead last last year in sacks for the quarterback. They only had 13 all of last year. Getting after it today.
Capshaw to punt. High, beautiful kick. Derek Johnson's got a call for a fair catch and makes it at about the 36-yard line. So the Huskies have it back. They have the lead 7-3. And to Times Square Stadium we go. John and Terry.
Right, thanks a lot. Terry will join me at halftime. But first, here on the Burger King update, a wild one between NC State and Indiana. State was down by 12 with 5 minutes left. They forged the lead. And then Andy Payne's 37-yard field goal is blocked by Terrence Holt, Torrey's brother, and NC State, in their second straight thriller, come out with a win, 41-38.
Coach Yamato off to a big start there, huh?
Great start.
Huskies now working from the 36-yard line. 2 tight end set. Tuiasosopo on the option will keep. And Marcus Scott 2, and that's about it. Ed Reed again from the secondary came up to help on the hit. And last week, Tuiasosopo kept the ball most of the time on the option. We talked to Rick Neuheisel about whether or not that was a problem.
You worry anytime you've got a player of his caliber who means as much as he does to our team taking that many hits. But I think also you're probably more at risk standing in the pocket when you don't see the hits coming than you are when you've got the ball tucked in your arm and you've been a running back and had the ability to run with the ball as he's had his whole life.
Marcus got 80 yards on 15 carries last week in the opener. Here he is back to throw in the pocket, going deep. Elstrom's there just over the diving wide receiver's fingertips. Leonard Myers in coverage. That one would have been a touchdown if Marcus would have pulled the string a little bit more.
And the Hurricanes wanted to keep Marcus in the pocket. You couldn't do it much better than this. Sits in the pocket, waits, had plenty of time to eject, and he didn't. He just threw it a little bit too far. Elstrom. They're missing their #1 receiver from last year, Chris Jurgens. He was a leading receiver. He hurt a knee. And then Juwan Hooker, who was a wide receiver Olympic guy. He's in Australia. He's running on the Olympic team.
3rd down at 7. Low snap on the shotgun. Tuiasosopo goes out complete this time. Going to be a first down. Out to Justin Robbins. So there's one of the young receivers.
Yeah, true freshman. 3rd catch of the day for Robbins, and that's why Tuiasosopo's patting him on the back.
They need some speed. Swanee, we were talking about this. Jaworn Hooker, as Bob said, in Sydney, and there's another part of that story. Lynn apparently didn't hear us. Interesting part of that story about Hooker being in the Olympics, and something that goes along with it we'll tell you about later. At the 48. Nice play fake. Marcus with time, with touch. Oh, almost snuck that thing in there to Stevens, the tight end. That was in triple coverage. Swanee talking about Jaworn Hooker. Interesting sidebar to that story.
Well, that's correct. The Olympic track coach is the former track coach at Washington State. And although Hooker placed 7th in the 400-meter race, he was selected to be on the relay team. Now, I'm not trying to say anything about the coach's credibility.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's an Apple Cup at stake, and he just effectively took out one of the fastest wide receivers for the University of Washington for the season.
And you know, one of the guys that helped Hooker actually get on that team too, former Olympic gold medalist Lee Evans, was one of the assistant track coaches here at Washington. Tuiasosopo again trying to throw into some traffic intended for hooks. And that's incomplete.
Yeah, Leonard Myers, number 22, undercut Tuiasosopo, and if he didn't throw it high, it was going to be picked off.
So Marcus been a little long, a little high with some of those tosses. And it brings up a 3rd down and 10. He's only 4 of 10 throwing the football so far today.
This is his 4th year. He did not redshirt, so Marcus has been here under 2 coaches, but he's had 4 different offensive coordinators, so it's always tough with the coach that you're working with when you've got to change him.
They're going to have to hurry here from the gun on 3rd and 10. Plenty of time. Now straight up the middle. He's thinking about going, and he's not going to get away from Dan Morgan.
That's the difference. This Miami team has the speed to catch up with Marcus Tuiasosopo.
Morgan says he's lowered his 40 time in the past year and gained some muscle and some weight to boot. Here's another look.
Look, stays in the pocket, plenty of time. Huge gaping hole. And then Morgan, who moved to the middle linebacker from outside this year with the loss of Nate Webster, brings him down.
Fleming had one blocked and only went 22 yards off the side of his foot with the other one. Moss waits back near the 10. Going to try to angle it away from Moss, but he didn't get it away from him.
Right
Here he goes from the 9. Made one miss. Up the sideline, Santana Moss. Boy, he can get there in a hurry. Out to the 33-yard line. A 40-yard kick, a 24-yard return. So the Hurricanes down 4, but have good field position, and they've got number 6 on their side when we come back. I don't know if there's a prettier picture in college football than looking out at Lake Washington from the press box and some of the folks who bring their boats in there. Right now their team's in front 7-3. Dorsey draw play. Ajay Davenport, and he goes out for about 9.
Dell Game Solutions for Miami. Dorsey has to stay cool on the road. Lots of noise, a lot of distractions. It's going to be tough, but he's got to be the guy. Defensively, eliminate the big plays. Miami likes to get the ball to their wide receivers. Their backs are quick. They throw the ball downfield. Just eliminate the big play and make them go the distance with a lot of plays.
Straight up the middle. Going to get a first down the old-fashioned way. McPartland, the fullback. Jeremiah Farms brings him down, but they'll move the sticks out to about the 45-yard line. We talked about Ken Dorsey making only his 5th start and on the road, and his head coach talked about his quarterback.
Obviously, he's got a huge upside. The next couple of years, he's going to be an outstanding quarterback, and he's played well. He's been very efficient, been very mature, and from a coaching standpoint, he's done what you like for a young quarterback to do, and that's protect the football.
On a pitch here. Oh. Davenport, good-looking play. Inside the 45 and down to the 37-yard line. That had a nifty look to it, didn't it?
Yeah, Miami had a little option their own on that one.
Davenport, who missed basically all of last year, missed 12 games after having an ACL injury in the season opener. And Ajay that time on the pitch from Dorsey takes it all the way down in Husky territory to the 37-yard line.
Miami has a lot of good running backs.
Number 4, the big fella, is one of them, 235-pounder. Dorsey on the roll, throws on the run. That was into traffic, not a good pass, and Jeremiah Farms let Dorsey know he was there at the end of that one.
Just a 2-man route to the wide side of the field. The quarterback rolls that way. The receivers tried to slide to an open area, and there was none. The defense did a nice job of coverage. Going to go to roll to the left. It's a 2-man route, and he just throws that ball up for grabs. Akbar was the closest one to it, number 9.
Dorsey's numbers not very impressive so far.
3 of 8, 22 yards.
Last week he had 3 touchdown passes. Today 3 completions so far. Now he's got 4. Whoa. There's a hit on McPartland, the fullback. Omari Lowe, helmet to helmet. You could hear the crack way up here. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long. 3rd and 8 coming up. Under 10.5 minutes in the half. Washington leading on a 3-yard touchdown run, 7-3. Marcus Tuiasosopo waiting his turn. Right now it's the defense's chance for the Dogs as the Hurricanes force into a 3rd and 8 under a blitz. In and out of the hands of Andre King. Would have been a first down.
Should have had it on the road. Illinois just a little bit off. Just a little bit off. Don't have the timing that they had last week. Little slant route from the left side. It was wide open, had some room to run.
So Miami's going to have to punt. Capshaw will come out and try to drop one down close.
I don't know about this. You know, this could be a fake punt. This is almost a 4-down area here.
They're going to kick it. And they kicked it in the end zone. They're not going to get much out of this deal.
So they gain about 12, 15 yards.
Yep.
I think that's an area, Brad, where you go ahead and go for it on 4th down. Your defense is good. Go for it on 4th down. Maybe you pick it up.
Want to start a family?
Right now?
I just got supplemental insurance.
What's that?
Aflac. Well, if we get sick, our health insurance won't cover things like lost pay or other expenses. This does.
What's it called?
Aflac! I don't know.
Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Hey, what's a sirloin stack?
Well, it's skim to bam to boom diddly bom boom.
Skim to bam to boom diddy bom boom?
Skim to bam to boom diddly bom boom.
Yeah, and it's got hody hody hody.
Hody hody hody.
Chili's sirloin stack. It's a mouthful.
What would happen if an SUV were raised by a family of sports cars?
Zoom, zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Zoom.
Introducing the 200 horsepower Mazda Tribute. The SUV with the soul of a sports car.
Chili's awesome blossom. Like, share one.
Not sure I've ever done a game where two coaches had identical records. These two guys each in their 6th year, and identical records coming in of 41 and 19 at Husky Stadium in Seattle. Full house, nice day so far, no rain, some clouds you see in the background, and the Huskies lead it 7-3. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, and Lynn Swan with you from Seattle. Here's a counter. Arnold runs into Chris Campbell, among others, for that Hurricane defense. So far, not a lot on the ground for Washington by any of their backs, but what matters most is they got the 3 yards down close when they needed it. Arnold's got 7 carries, but only 4 yards.
Well, what Miami can do with that good secondary of theirs is allow the corners to cover the wide receivers man to man, keep a free safety in the middle of the field, and then just put 8 guys up to stop the run and say, go ahead and try to throw on us. We think we're better than your corners and your slot men.
Marcus is going to throw on this one unless he keeps it himself. Looking left. Now down the middle. Got his man, Elstrom. Across the 45 to the 46-yard line. First down, and probably the best throw of the day for Tuiasosopo.
Well, what he did is he pumped. He came out and pumped, and the defensive backs jumped on everything short, and the receivers kept going up the field. Good play right there. They just ran right by him because Reed and Rumpf and all the other guys, the defensive backs, had jumped on the short routes.
Alstrom's catch is a first down at the 47. Back to the ground. Conniff bangs his way to midfield. Picked up about 3. And was the ball loose at the end of the play? And mix it up a little bit? I guess not.
Well, Brad and Bob, exactly what you were talking about Tuiasosopo looking off the receiver is exactly what you gain by looking at the film and studying. I'm sure the Miami defense watched Tuiasosopo, and he wasn't looking receivers off. We watched it when we watch the game film. But this time he does look them off. They say, okay, he normally doesn't. We'll jump on this, and it creates the opening downfield. He continues to learn his position each game, Bob.
Sure does.
Here comes a blitz from the corner. And a late pitch. That ball is loose. And back to the line of scrimmage goes Willie Hurst. That was a live ball. Morgan got over there to make sure he wasn't going anywhere with it.
Sometimes great players just try to do too much. And times you should just hold on to the football, not pitch it out there. Tuiasosopo just trying to make something out of nothing.
Our Aflac trivia question today: what Miami quarterback went on to coach at the University of Washington? Think that one over. We'll have the answer for you in a few minutes. 3rd down and 6. Huskies trying to keep the drive alive. Over the middle they go. I don't know if Farms got there or not. Might be 4th down and about 8 inches. Let's wait and see. Jeremy Stevens, the big tight end, he is some kind of target. And his forward progress, boy, it's awfully close. They might have to take a look at this one. Rick Neuheisel said, you know, I'm one of the biggest proponents in the conference of going on 4th down if I think it's going to help the cause.
I think he goes for it on 4th down more than any. And the situation we just had with Miami down on the Washington 33-yard line, and Butch punted the ball, you know, that would have been a no-brainer for him.
Well, we're about 2 miles in the air, and I guessed he was short by a little bit. We'll wait and see. This new field turf, you never know if they have the markings on it perfectly. They
keep pulling it.
Yeah, they keep pulling it, and it's about that much short. I was only about an inch off. That's not bad from 4 stories
good,
up.
Partner. we are straight up.
I went to bed early last night.
I like the field turf. I really do, and they must have marked it pretty well.
Yes, they did. Perfectly straight lines that Paul Allen of the Seahawks bought for this field, which the Huskies share for the next 2 seasons with the Seahawks, who will play the world champion Rams here tomorrow.
Well, here you go.
4th and inches. Tuiasosopo, quarterback sneak, or will it be Conniff the fullback? I wouldn't try to hand it to anybody.
I bet you run an option this way and give him a chance to make a big play.
Chad Ward, his best lineman's his right guard. 4th and inches. He's going to follow those big butts. And did he get there? I think he did.
No question. Not only did the Huskies get a new field out of it, but they got new lights for their stadium and also a big new scoreboard.
Yep. And now the Husky fans rocking the place. Been playing ball here 81 years. And they've won a lot of games, about 81%.
There aren't many college stadiums that have a roof covering the side supports.
Yep.
And up here where it rains a lot, they need it.
We're going to be dry no matter what happens today. The sun's out right now. That's a possible double pass. It was a lateral, and they wanted to go to Elstrom.
Yes,
they ran this in practice on Thursday. Willie Hurst wanted to throw a double pass, and they had Elstrom streaking down the sideline.
Yes, they did. You called it right, and he just didn't have. I don't know why he didn't throw it. I guess he didn't have time to throw it.
Looking at his nails there. Miami closed on it pretty fast.
Take a look from behind. Can't tell whether there was a backward pass straight up the field, the top of your screen. I like the call, though. I like the call by Keith Gilbertson, because right after you go for it on 4th down and make it, you come right back and you try to get him with a big play.
8th play of the drive right here. There was a loss of 5 on that one. 2nd down and 15. Back to the 48-yard line. Tuiasosopo, straight drop. Marcus now on the move. Gonna loft one for Elstrom. Did he catch it? He did. What a grab by Elstrom, a pickup of 36.
Tuiasosopo just keeps this alive. From behind the defense. Nobody's open. Now he's going to scramble to our left. The coverage is pretty good. He's just going to give him a chance. Lays it out in front of him. Rumpf was there with the coverage, and Elstrom makes a nice diving catch. This is not easy catch.
Put just enough air under it, and Elstrom hits the turf just inside the 13-yard line. Huskies threatening again, leading 7-3. On the option. Tuiasosopo broke a tackle inside the 5. Touchdown! Marcus Tuiasosopo, 13-yard tackle-breaking run. That shows his stoutness, Bob. He's a tough guy.
Well, the defensive coaches for Miami were talking about his balance. How good a balance he had. Didn't get knocked off his feet very easily.
John Anderson for the point after. Up and good. As Keith Jackson dubbed him last year, the Warrior. He weaves his way to the end zone. 14-3 Huskies.
My name's Bob.
Tim.
Karen.
I'm quitting smoking.
With Nicorette.
Nicorette gives me 2 ways to help control my cravings.
First, I help prevent them.
You see, I set myself up on a regular schedule. 6 pieces a day.
9.
12.
You know when you just get that craving anyway, late for a gig, rough crowd, I take another piece to help take control.
And now, after smoking for 20 years,
I'm finally gonna make it.
I'm sticking with it.
I'm gonna do it.
You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Volunteers, we all have regular jobs. We could be coming from anywhere. We get a call, we need to get to the fire right now. Things that are going through our mind are hazards we might face so that when we get on scene, we're ready to act. We need a truck that can handle anything we throw at it. 4 full-size doors gets us in and out quickly. It's 6 people in the cab and there's a ton of room for cargo. Great truck.
It was a little intimidating at first, a sophomore working with so many PhDs. In the lab, I studied an infectious bacterium that is a major killer of people with HIV. I showed my data to Professor Cangelosi, and we realized I had made a new discovery.
Wow.
If this drug-resistant bacterium can be treated, people with HIV will have a better chance of surviving this infection. It's pretty overwhelming to think that I can have a part in helping millions of people.
Promotional consideration provided by National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the Bowl Championship Series on ABC.
Let's go!
On that last drive by Marcus Tuiasosopo and company, 66 yards on 3 for 3, part of the numbers he's put up so far. An 80-yard march in 9 plays, 14-3. Number 15 Washington leading number 4 Miami.
We were talking about the 2 quarterbacks at the top of the telecast, and so far it's the senior, the home, who's playing at home, doing much better than the true sophomore who is on the road for the first time as a starter.
Anderson's kick taken at the 12 by Johnson. Broke a tackle, cuts outside. Oh, just got tripped up, or he might have been off to the races. Butch Davis knew there were concerns to worry about with Marcus Tuiasosopo. Talked with us about who he plays like.
Our coaching staff and our players look at him and think a lot of them very similar to Michael Vick and Donovan McNabb. Very athletic, do an outstanding job running the option, got a live arm. I mean, that's the one thing. Sometimes guys that are very physical and can run the option, maybe they have a little bit of a drawback, but he doesn't in the ability to throw the football.
Now looking for his own quarterback to throw the football, and he does, going deep. Almost picked off. Omari Lowe played it beautifully in front of Reggie Wayne.
The ball was thrown to the outside, and Wayne was running more to the inside. The passing game for the Hurricanes just not quite right, not right there. The timing is just a tad off.
There you see the ball was thrown to the wrong shoulder, and
Dorsey
Lowe almost had an interception.
4 of 11, 24 yards.
Draw play inside Davenport. Najee got out to about the 38-yard line. Coming up tonight in prime time, part of our doubleheader, Florida State and Georgia Tech, a key battle from Bobby Dodd Stadium in Atlanta. Many of you will see that. Colorado and USC, are the Trojans for real after their opening win over Penn State? We find out tonight right here on ABC Sports. 3rd down.
This is the shortest 3rd down that Miami has had in the entire ball game.
And it's a long 5 to go.
Single coverage up the top.
Dorsey's going to call a timeout.
So he wanted to check off, and he couldn't because of the noise. Last week in the game against McNeese State, Butch Davis said he checked off 60–70% of the time. Not here, not today.
Not with the Husky fans making as much noise as they are.
That's a lesson you have to learn on the road. A young kid, you're on the road, you can't check off. You got to have these plays that are good for anything.
We were talking last night. You made an interesting observation about how your game plan gets scoped down a little bit on the road.
Well, it's because you can't check off. And when you go to the line of scrimmage, the plays you call have to be good for any defense you might see. So that shrinks your game plan. You can't have as many plays because you got to call something that's going to be good for anything they might do, because you can't check off.
College football on ABC Sports brought to you by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete. Nicorette gum. You can do it. Nicorette can help. And FedEx. FedEx, be absolutely sure. You can be sure of one thing as we go through some of the haze and fog to Mount Rainier. It isn't a mile high so far for the fans here in the stadium, but they're kind of loving what they're seeing. 14-3 Huskies.
It's a big play right here.
Sure is. 3rd and 5. 3 wideouts for Dorsey. Huskies are thinking about a corner blitz. They back out of it. Dorsey across the middle. Santana Moss, and he looked like he's limping. He hurt that ankle last week.
It's taped.
It's heavily taped, and he kind of broke stride, didn't he?
That's the first catch for Moss today. I think he really hurt that on that punt return when he fumbled.
Last week he was spectacular, as he always is, against McNeese State. Fielded the first punt of the ball game, and off to the races he went, right down the sideline in a hurry. And then on an end around, also in the first half, and he takes another one long distance.
He's gone.
As he had a 94 yards with a return, 75 yards on that end around. Dorsey back to throw, fires complete, and it's a first down for Miami this time. Down to the 43-yard line. They got that pass to Darrell Jones, another guy who's got speed to burn.
Yes, he does.
So that quiets the crowd momentarily with just over 4 to go in the half.
Darrell Jones was in for Moss, who's on the sideline there. But they, like you say, they both have speed. In fact, they were both on the track team. But they got a lot of speed. They lose 3 of these 4 guys, but they've got 2 young ones ready to replace them.
Najee Davenport hit in the backfield. Lost almost 3. Triplett and Julian came in there to help on the stop. Moss comes back in, but he's favoring that ankle. Looked to us even at the walkthrough yesterday that he looked like he was a limp, and you see he kind of broke stride right there, almost like he hit a divot. And even with a bad wheel, Santana Moss is faster than most guys. 3rd down and 13. 2nd down and 13. Here comes a blitz. Got him. Ball's loose. Huskies have it. Anthony Von Tour on a corner blitz. And they're barking in the stadium again.
Well, that was the short side. Butch is saying his arm was coming forward. It was a pass. But the short side again. Here's the short side corner. You're on the hash mark right here. Whenever he's up there and bump, you got to watch for it. See, the safety came over to pick up the receiver.
And the Huskies now with another opportunity before halftime. 4 wideouts for Tuiasosopo from the 49. Looks right, comes back to the middle. Got him. Inside the 25 to the 24 is Kleeman out of the backfield. Here comes Washington in a hurry.
He's doing a great job of looking one way and coming back the other way. This is something we didn't see him do in the game last week.
Rick Neuheisel told us yesterday he's so talented and he's been such a great combination player, being able to run, that his biggest problem was reading coverages. Today seems like he's got a pretty good feel for where the Canes are. 1st down at the 24. 15th ranked team in the country right now, rocking number 4 Miami. Here's Kleeman on the ground, and Dan Morgan. That'll stop your momentum a little bit. Morgan is all linebacker.
He led this team in tackles last year. Like you mentioned, he was a 4-year starter. He came in here when the program was down. After the sanctions, Butch Davis was here a couple of years. The sanctions were in. He came in as a freshman, and Butch needed him to play. I mean, he was playing with freshmen and sophomores there in '97, the only year that Butch didn't win more than he lost.
2 tight ends. No gain on that last play. It's 2nd and 10. One of those tight ends, Stevens, in motion. Tuiasosopo loads, fires, right open. Stevens, touchdown. The biggest target on the field for Tuiasosopo. They played it beautifully. And the Huskies lead 20-3.
It's a well-designed play by the offense. Keith Gilbertson, the tight end, coming in motion, swings out. Tuiasosopo, they're hot right now.
Are they ever?
They're hot.
John Anderson in for the point after. Got it. Penalty markers down on the extra point. (21-3), and this penalty is going against Miami. And it's an offside call. Decline. 21-3. The last 7 from Tuiasosopo to his 6'7" tight end, Bob.
Well, he just went across the formation in motion, and he has 2 receivers coming inside, and the tight end just swung to the outside, and there was not a hurricane out there. Good throw, good execution, well-designed play.
So Marcus Tuiasosopo is run for 1, thrown for 1, and the undisputed leader of this Husky team has his team up 21-3. Rick Newhouse's got to be going, I didn't think it was going to be quite this good with 2 minutes left in the first half. There's the numbers. He may not be a dark horse Heisman candidate when this day is done.
Well, he is showing, he's proven in the past that he can run. He's showing today he can sit in the pocket and read coverage and look off safeties and complete passes.
There's the inexperienced sophomore Ken Dorsey making only his 5th start and finding a very, very tough place to try to win his 5th game.
And it's gotten worse because now you're on the road and you're behind. And you're behind by 18 points.
Andre Johnson up the sideline. Nice return again. Second good return. And out to the 40-yard line, a 37-yard kickoff return. Earlier, we asked you our Aflac trivia question. What Miami quarterback went on to coach at the University of Washington? None other than the most famous Washington coach, Don James, quarterback in the 50s for the Canes and longtime coach here, a national championship in '91, and he would be here today, but he's on a safari in Africa.
With Mike Lou, the old athletic director, a good buddy of his down in Tucson. They play golf. They've had this lined up for a long time.
I'd say they're probably having some fun about it now.
Yes, sir.
Penalty markers before the snap again. With 1:52 remaining in the half.
Dead ball.
And the dead ball. False start.
On the offense. 5 yards. Still
coming up on the Valvoline halftime 2000. John Saunders and Terry Bowden will have scores, highlights, and all the action in college football today from Times Square Stadium. John and Terry, 1:52 away. Some interesting scores, some interesting ongoing games, and this one definitely interesting for all of those across the country. That ball almost picked off by Crambrink, who had one of the first big plays of the ball game. The backup linebacker, pass intended for Shockey, the tight end.
The reason Kenny Dorsey is playing is that Kenny Kelly left the University of Miami and decided to go and play baseball. They would have had 2 quarterbacks, Kenny Kelly and Dorsey, back, but with Kelly leaving, they really don't have any other experienced quarterbacks behind Dorsey.
Dorsey in his starts had a great ratio of 12 touchdown passes, only 1 interception, but he's struggling today. Nice opening that time. Clinton Portis. Some people say the number 3 tailback on the depth chart might be the best running back they have.
I've been impressed with Clinton Portis. He's had 6 100-yard games. Last year as a true freshman, he ran for over 800 yards.
And those 500-yard games last year set a school record. Dorsey picks up the loose ball and has to eat it. And Larry Triplett made sure he gobbled it down. Larry's having a good game.
This is where Butch Davis and the Hurricanes miss the experience of Kenny Kelly. I mean, you may still want to play Ken Dorsey, but you need to take Dorsey out of the game, sit him on the sideline, let him calm down a little bit, but they don't have anybody else to put in.
Timeout Miami with 1:16 remaining. Ken Dorsey, the tall sophomore, 6'5" sophomore out of California. Coming up on Monday, we got a fierce rivalry for you. And when we mean fierce, we mean fierce. New England Patriots and the New York Jets. They really can't stand each other, to be honest with you. Al Michaels, Stan Fouts, Dennis Miller, Eric Dickerson, and Melissa Starks will be there. Monday Night Football. And you talk about two teams that trade draft choices for coaching swaps. I mean, that ought to be interesting.
I like your line. They really don't like each other. You talk about rivalries.
Well, Bill Belichick, of course, now with the Patriots. Al Gross, the head coach of the Jets. Bill Parcells still in their front office.
Didn't Parcells just come out with a book and he didn't speak too highly about
Not a Bill, did he? No.
Oh.
So Miami on 4th down, set to punt. The Huskies have to run their punt return team out there in a hurry. Here's the kick. Oh, almost hit one of the Husky players downfield, but did not, and rolls inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. 51-yard kick with that roll. And 1:05 all that's remaining here in the half. Marcus Tuiasosopo has been everything that we advertised to you. Last year became the first player in college football history to have a game where he threw for 300 yards and ran for 200 yards. That against Stanford. Yeah. Remarkable performance.
And on the other side of the field, it's a tough day for the young Dorsey. Tuiasosopo's 9 of 15, 141 yards passing and a touchdown, and he's rushed for another 35 yards and a touchdown.
They played close to the vest, I would guess, here from their own 8-yard line. Going to give it to Conniff, the fullback. Got a couple, maybe 3. Dan Morgan, the linebacker, in on another hit. And the clock works its way under a minute.
Well, the Pac-10 has really reared up and shut some people up about talking about last year how bad the Pac-10 was. So
that UCLA game over Alabama was the big one, part of a 7-0 weekend to open up things.
And it continues.
2nd down and 7. Half-minute left in the first half. And Marcus is going to take a knee. Smart football now by the Huskies. They're not going to get cued at all. Their fans are going to give them a huge ovation as they head to the locker room. As well they should. Because right now they are shocking the 4th-ranked team in the country. And Butch Davis is going to have to regroup his Hurricanes, or they're going to have a long 3,000-mile flight home with some long faces. Let's go to Lynn Swan.
Rick, we knew this was going to be kind of a gutted out, kind of a ball game and game plan for you. Worked on the first touchdown, but you opened it up.
Well, can't tell everybody everything, but we've got a lot more football to play. This is a very talented Miami team. They're going to have a spirited conversation in there right now. They're going to come out ready to play. We got to fight fire with fire.
You know, what is it about the defense of Miami that's now allowing you and Marcus Tuiasosopo to really move the ball down the field through the air?
Well, we've confused them with some formations, but they've got good coaches. They'll make some adjustments, and I don't think that we'll have as open a guys in the second half. Doesn't mean we won't try, but we've got to try to control the line of scrimmage. We've got a lead. We've got to see if we can pound out some first downs, see if we can get this 30 minutes to get over fast.
It also appears that your defense has been able to confuse their offense, and the crowd has gotten into it. They've got some problems there.
We've got a 12th man here. Hopefully they're going to be ready to rock and roll in the second half.
Rick, all right. See you in the second half.
They've certainly rock and rolled in the first half. 21-3, the Huskies, they got on the board after recovering a fumbled punt by Santana Moss. Braxton Kleeman on the option for 3 yards for the touchdown. Marcus Tuiasosopo, a 13-yard gallop over several defenders. And then he found his tight end wide open in the end zone. Those are the 3 touchdowns for the Huskies. The Canes could only answer with the field goal. 21-3 is our halftime score, and John and Terry will be along from Times Square Stadium when we return after this. Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy. You and I about 2 hours ago talked about the tale of 2 quarterbacks. One's a young guy, one's a senior. The senior's got the best of it right now.
And the young guy's on the road in front of a hostile crowd, and it shows, and he needs to settle down. what we said that Washington wanted to do was time of possession. They've had the ball 9 minutes more than Miami has. And for Miami, they need to settle down. Each possession, they've had the ball 6 times. They have not had it more than 6 plays on any of those possessions. And the only time they scored with a field goal was because they had blocked a punt and got the ball on the 28-yard line. So they have done nothing offensively.
Here's the high short kick again, taken by Jones, coming to the near side. Got a nice block, cuts outside, and Darryl Jones a nice return to the 39. Lynn Swann talked just moments ago with Butch Davis about what his team's got to do.
What do your team have to do to get settled down and get back in this ball game?
Well, offensively, we got to have some success and continuity, putting some drives together. We hit on some things early, running the ball, and we've got to be able to build on that. Defensively, we got to negate the big plays. We were playing really good defense, limited all the things, and gave up a couple of big pass plays that really swung the field position. Obviously, you can't turn the ball over.
Your quarterback Dorsey, does he have to settle in and be a little more effective?
Yeah, I think so. I think Kenny was maybe looking for too many big plays and not necessarily taking some of the easier throws. He's just got to be efficient. I think he'll do a good job.
Thank you, Coach.
Took a little easier throw there on the first snap and got 16.
I like that. Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator, knows his guy's a little shook up. Probably talked to him for a long time and just got him something going, something easy. Last week was big plays. Then this week, let's get something going. This is a tougher opponent.
This is a nice spot to be in. One play into the third quarter at the 44-yard line of Washington. Jackson counter, nothing. Hit by Darrell Daniels. Our Morgan Stanley Dean Witter first half statistics, and there's what Bob was talking about. 19:49 time of possession.
Yeah, go to the bottom though. Over 9 minutes, and the 2 turnovers for the Hurricanes. Hurricanes only have 7 first downs, and Washington total yardage 200 yards. Miami only 73.
Second down, a full 10. Here comes a blitz. They pick it up this time, and he finds his hot receiver across the middle of the 39, Andre King, for a pickup of 5. Nice job by James Jackson picking up the corner blitz.
Yeah, that time this is something they picked up. You won't see the corner coming, but from the left side, this is one thing that Washington got. The corner blitz sacked him a couple of times and actually caused the turnover. They got that corrected at halftime.
I know it's early in the third quarter, but this is a big, big third down for the Hurricanes. Ture Butler in as a nickel back, and Miami's going to come over to the sideline. Going to take a timeout.
Probably a personnel timeout. They didn't have the right people, and Miami was coming to the line of scrimmage.
Timeout with 13:25 remaining in the third quarter. 21-3, the Huskies out in front. Huskies defense heard all week about how good Miami's defense was, but they're showing up today.
Daniels, the middle linebacker. Lowe, the corner out there.
There's a big hit.
That's Von Tour on a corner blitz.
That was one of those turnovers.
Tim Hundley, the defensive coordinator, doing a nice job of mixing things up, shutting Miami out touchdown-wise in the first half.
They'll take those 4 sacks, too. They felt like they should have had about 6 against Idaho. They only had 3 last week, but so they have 7 sacks in a week and a half, and they only had 13, which was last in the Pac-10 all of last year.
Yeah, but this Washington team had 5 takeaways and a blocked punt last week, so they're an aggressive group, and they're showing it here today.
Here's the 3rd and 5 for the Canes. They're only 1 out of 6 on their third down conversions. Quick throw complete, and stretching out, ball loose. Getting back on top of it for what looks like a first down is Ivan Mercer.
He may have lost it when he fumbled it.
Looked like he lost the ball behind him. One of the Husky players rolled over the top, and he reached back for it. A lot of this is going to depend on the spot. Oh, I think he's got it. Yep.
There you go. I was going to ask you to make a call on that one. Nice call. Critical third down situation. I think the timeout that Washington took, that ball was out before he was down, and he was lucky to get it back.
and lucky to get it back in the spot he got it back. Dorsey out to the fullback, and riding his way down to the 25 is McPartland. And he gave Curtis Williams a little lift. Pickup of about 8, second down and short. So Miami's working it down the field.
Another nice play, getting the ball to your backs. If you can throw the ball to your backs and your tight end, McPartland right there, 35, the fullback, you can move the ball down the field. Forget about the wide receiver. Those are big play guys. You hit your backs and tight ends, you can move the ball down the field.
At the 25, second down and 2. Opening drive, third quarter for Miami. Straight give off the left side. Here comes Jackson. James Jackson. He's got a first down out to the 16. Akbar and Lowe drag him down from the secondary. Pickup of 10. Best run of the day for James Jackson. Jackson, one of the Doak Walker candidates, over 2,000 rushing yards. Only 3 other guys have done that at Miami, led by Otis Anderson, who's the top rusher in school history. He comes out. Omari Lowe still down on the field after the tackle of Jackson, and they can't lose a corner right now.
They can't afford to lose a corner. They lost. They were thin coming in. Rod Green, one of their corners they expected back, is academically ineligible.
Well, that doesn't look too good for Omari Lowe.
He had a back problem coming into the ball game and has played very well.
Look like they're heading straight to the locker room with him. They're not going to the sideline. They're heading to the tunnel. See if we can see.
I think
hard to tell.
I think it's his back. He had a back problem coming in, and I think he just re-injured it.
7th play of the drive for Miami. First down for the Canes. The Huskies 15. Dorsey pump fake, now goes to the corner to Moss. Not enough real estate, but a flag is down. Anthony Von Tour may be called for pass interference out there.
Von Tour has had 6 interceptions over a period of 9 games. He is a very aggressive cornerback. I think they're going to say it was not a catchable ball, so they're waving it off. Our microphone is, we can't hear the referee up here. I think that would have been catchable.
Offensive pass interference.
Offensive.
Oh.
15 yards, previous spot. Still first down.
Well, now we got the refs mic working and the Hurricanes working against themselves.
I don't know. I couldn't tell. All I could guess is that Moss wrapped his left arm and kind of threw the corner down as he went around him.
So that makes it 1st and 25. Back at the 30. 3 wideouts. And Dorsey from the shotgun. Play fake, in trouble. He's got to get rid of that thing in a hurry because Jeremiah Farms just brought the farm.
Yeah, well, that didn't fool anybody. Little fake draw going the other way, and it's supposed to be like a little option on Farms. Well, Farms is one of the better players on this defense. He said nothing doing. Had a free shot at Ken Dorsey.
Tim Huntley, the defensive coordinator, said it's time for Jeremiah Farms to lift his game up to another level. I think he has so far today. Second and 25.
Comes the corner.
Ups and down he goes. Got tangled up with either his center or his guard and never had a chance. May not have had a chance had he gotten in the pocket.
There's just something about playing on the road. Everybody is unsettled. The quarterback's a little unsettled. The right guard, you can't see it in the right guard in the center. You see it more in the quarterbacks and the skill players that have to carry the ball. But everybody is just a little bit off, a little bit on edge. That time he stepped on Dorsey's foot.
They've had some miscues today. They don't want another one here, and they'll take a timeout with a 3rd and 31. Dorsey calls timeout.
I don't know if that's a good time to take a timeout when it's 3rd and 31. What's the difference between 3rd and 31 and 36?
That's a good point. They need to get down to the 5-yard line either way.
They just need to get in the field goal range.
Right. And Marcus Tuiasosopo trying to stay warm on the sideline because he definitely was warmed up in that second quarter especially. 11:36 to go, third quarter. Timeout.
This is pretty basic. It just says that you, the Backstreet Boys, agreed to provide Burger King with an exclusive new video, yada yada.
And what's the yada yada?
A little commercial.
Forget it. We don't do commercials.
Not our style, man.
We wouldn't even do this for
Lifetime supply of free Whoppers.
All the pickles on the lettuce, sure, don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way.
Does that rock or what?
The new Backstreet Boys video with exclusive footage is only at Burger King. Just $2.99 with any tasty value meal.
Have it your way.
Mom, Dad, remember how my rent was earning me airline miles?
Yeah, that rewards program.
Scrap it. I'm not going anywhere. Mark. What I want now is merchandise, preferably brand name, and I've been kicking some numbers around. And I've already earned the television. That's going upstairs. Give me a hand with this, Dad, please. Dad.
You want brand name merchandise?
Yeah.
What does this look like? A Holiday Inn?
Points, miles, or merchandise. Holiday Inn gives you more, and more is better.
In the world we're born into, being smart doesn't necessarily make you a financial success. Neither does being pretty, neither does being talented. There are brilliant failures, and there are successful zeros. Having money isn't a matter of good or bad. Having money is a matter of putting your money in a better place. Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money. Get well connected.
We began anew with new easy out rolling captain's chairs, new 3-zone climate control, new power sliding doors, new power hatch, new brighter headlamps, new. Dodge Grand Caravan, the best minivan ever. And did we mention it's new? The all-new Dodge Caravan. Different.
The crowd spent so much time cheering during that timeout, they had to take a break. They're back on their feet. 3rd and 31. Blitz coming. Screen pass Jackson. Couple of blockers in front. Oh, what a hit at the 30 from Von Tour. And Kelly's there as well. 11:20 to go in the third quarter. Full house at Husky Stadium watching the number 15 team in the country shellac number 4 Miami so far. 21-3. And now the Hurricanes, who had something going, had an offensive pass interference call against Santana Moss that negated what may have been a drive for a touchdown, and now they're going to have to try to settle for a field goal. And it's 47 yards out.
It's into a little breeze too
for Todd Severs. And it's blocked. The Huskies got it. Everything going right for Washington. Larry Triplett blocked the field goal.
The Hurricanes had a good drive going. Take a look at the top of the screen. Right here is going to be the interference on the pass interference that took the Canes out of field goal range, or out of touchdown range, really. It looked like Moss just took his left arm and threw him down. I don't see it from there.
I don't either.
I didn't see it on that side.
And a moment ago, 47-yard field goal attempt was blocked by defensive captain Larry Triplett. Huskies take over, kind of maybe back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it. William Joseph made the stop on the Husky fullback. Here was Severs trying to line up from 47, but right in the thick of that was one of the biggest guys on the field. Triplett. And the block kick. That's a happy guy. Second down at 10 for Marcus Tuiasosopo and the Huskies offense on the option. Now a pitch, not a good one, but it's handled by Paul Arnold.
Yeah.
Larry Triplett's the guy that blocked that field goal, and don't think that these Huskies don't know a little bit about history in the series between these two teams.
Going back to '94 and sharing a national championship in '91, this is a big game for us, you know, and we're not playing it just for ourselves. We're playing it for, you know, Huskies that played here in the past. So it's almost like we're having a part of history right now.
One of the first guys that met him coming off the field was Steve Entman.
He was a pretty good footballer.
Yeah, he was. 3rd and 14. Tuiasosopo all day to throw across the middle. Finds Wilbur Hooks. And Hooks across the 20 to the 21. Nice hit by Leonard Myers from the corner. And it's a punting situation.
Tuiasosopo just giving it a chance, trying to make a first down without turning the ball over. You don't want to help the Hurricanes. They're having trouble on their offense without helping them along, so don't try and help them.
There's a guy that can change the momentum of a game in a hurry.
And that's what the Hurricanes need. They need a big play from their special teams or their defense.
They blocked one punt of Fleming's today. Off the side of his foot is this one. A terrible kick. This thing might go out of bounds before the 30-yard line. That punt may only net him about 2 or 3 yards.
I'm sure it's been talked to him all week about don't kick it straight to him. Don't kick a line drive. He says, I don't know what happened, Coach.
He kicked that one right off the side of his foot. And the Hurricanes are going to have great field position after a shank punt. They still haven't spotted the ball. I'm just trying to find a line of scrimmage so we can tell you how far that thing went. It went 9 yards.
30-yard line.
And the Canes right back at the 30. They were here a few minutes ago before a blocked field goal. Now Jay Davenport now the tailback in the eye.
Both special teams not doing very well. Blocked field goal and then a poor punt.
Here's that option pitch to Davenport. He gets tagged out of bounds after a pickup of 4 by Hakeem Akbar. 9:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. Swanee's got an injury update for us.
Yeah, it's on Amari Lowe. He was hoping that the Husky offense would stay on the field, which would give him a chance to get some fluids in him because he just cramped up. Which means, Bob and Brad, what he should have been drinking was, you know what I mean, pickle juice.
That's right.
Should have been drinking the pickle juice and he wouldn't have cramped up.
We didn't think there'd be any pickle juice around here.
Swanee started a nationwide phenomena with that pickle juice thing in the Pigskin Classic a couple of weeks ago. Dorsey throws into traffic, incomplete, intended for Darrell Jones. Curtis Williams and Anthony Von Tour right there to break it up.
The learning process goes forward for the young quarterback from Coral Gables and the University of Miami.
They haven't aimed it at Moss too much, Bob.
No, they haven't. They've thrown 3 balls towards Moss.
And he's got 1 catch, and he's not even on the field right now. The ankle we saw him hobbling on earlier in this game that kept him out of, for the most part, the entire second half against McNeese State in the opener is obviously something that's hampering him right now, and it helps to hamper this Miami offense.
Watch for a blitz here. You've got 8 or 9 guys in the box.
3rd and 6. Dorsey kind of throw it out to Jones. Kind of a one-hopper.
They showed blitz and dropped out of it. Dorsey was a little shook up, threw it a little early, and the receiver was stumbling around out there. This defense is doing a nice job.
So they're going to try a field goal again. The last one got stuffed at about the same spot on the field, only from the opposite hash mark.
Miami wants to take another timeout.
Man, they are going to need some help at the end of this game if they somehow can get it close, because they're down to 1 now. Hurricanes are rattled in a hostile environment, and they trail 21-3.
It's so different. It's the best minivan ever. With the first power hatch ever in a minivan. The first 3-zone climate control ever in a minivan. The first movable center console with power outlet and more. But even with all that's different, there's one thing we'll never change. The all-new Dodge Grand Caravan. Different.
Know how to spot a die-hard battery owner? Look for their jumper cables. Die Hard, America's most trusted battery with 30 years of starting power. How much do you trust your battery?
Welcome to figure drawing. Let's begin.
Do you have our supplies?
Oh, yeah.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Get out!
Make it a Bud Light.
Field goal attempt is out the window. They're going to go for it here on 4th down at the 26-yard line.
I like that call.
Should have maybe done that earlier in the game. 3 wideouts for Dorsey. Going to roll away from the pressure, throw on the run, and he got his man for a first down at the 18-yard line. Pickup of 8. And let's check in New York with John Saunders. John?
Right here on the Burger King update, Oregon and Wisconsin. Wisconsin with 24 yards on the ground at halftime. Early in the third quarter, Michael Bennett breaks free, and the sprinter speed won't catch him. 59 yards for the touchdown. Wisconsin on top, 7-6. Right.
Badgers playing short-handed. Here's Davenport, and the big fella bangs his way inside the 15 to the 14-yard line with 8.5 minutes to go. Third quarter here. It's 21-3 Washington. Marcus Tuiasosopo, a touchdown pass, a touchdown run. And he also pitched to his tailback for a 3-yard score. And there he sits on the sideline. His team comfortably in front, but it's getting a little more uncomfortable.
Well, he hasn't had the ball but 3 plays here in the second half.
2nd down, 6. Canes at the Huskies 14. Moss in motion toward the ball. They'll go straight ahead. McPartland close to the 10. Jeremiah Farms in on the stop. Got a flag down. Don't forget doubleheader coverage coming up tonight. Many of you will see Florida State and Georgia Tech. The rest of you Colorado and USC. A couple good games. Just when Miami gets something going, they do something that hurts.
Yeah, especially on the road when things are tough anyway. You don't want to stop yourself with penalties. And
remember last time they were down here, they got the offensive pass interference
Illegal
call.
block in the back on the offense, 10 yards from the end of the run. Still 2nd down.
And that one does just about the same thing.
Butcher said,
Butcher, you got to use your head, right?
Look at this, right there. I mean, the run is to the inside, and Moss comes down and blocks the defender back into the inside. It's something the receiver wants to get a piece of him and help, but you got to say no. He turned his back.
2nd and 13. Here comes a blitz.
Yes.
Dorsey lobs it to the corner. Touchdown. Holding on is Reggie Wayne. They threw that fade a couple times last week to the opposite corner of the end zone. This one he lofted out for his 6'1" wide receiver, and he came down with it.
Yeah, they threw it to their favorite guy, and they're working on the true freshman, Derek Johnson. Number 21 is a true freshman. He's playing because Von Tour is in with cramps in the locker room. Great catch.
Great concentration.
Whoops.
Derek Johnson tried to strip that out. Yep. Reggie caught that twice. We'll give him 2 touchdown catches there.
Good catch there.
So Miami right back in the game. They're going for 2. Trailing by 12.
Down by 12, hoping by 10.
Dorsey goes down, backpedaling. 2nd time today that's happened. So there goes a wasted 2-point attempt, but they cut the lead to 21-9.
What do I want the internet to be? I want it to be like Frank here. He really knows customers. Package Frank. Put him together with the internet. Now you've got something. Puts a whole new face on customer interaction.
Bonjour, monsieur. Morning, Frank. Can I help you?
No matter how a customer gets a hold of us, they get the full Frank treatment. We know their business like the back of Frank's hand. We get them what they need, when they need it. You know, I just want doing e-business with us to be more human.
Today, Nortel Networks is combining the power of the new high-performance internet with the tools your business needs to deliver stronger, more Frank-like e-business solutions.
And of course, Frank's got to be available.
Good night, Frank.
Whenever customers need him.
Come together right now over me.
I want the boneless buffalo wings.
We got the boneless buffalo wings.
Leave out the bone.
Who needs them? Boneless buffalo wings.
Only at Chili.
Boneless buffalo wings.
How does your gray beard or mustache reflect on you? Man, I look old. Get new vitamin-enriched Just for Men gel. The Rejuvenator, specially made to penetrate coarse gray in 5 minutes and match your hair. The Rejuvenator, Just for Men gel.
Go! Let's go, man. Get up. Don't be lazy. Let's
Florida
go.
State, Georgia Tech, or Colorado USC. Tonight on ABC.
21-9, but no two-point conversion, Bob.
Look right here. Look at the right foot of the quarterback and the left foot of the right guard. Step on right there. Right here. And that's what happened. It's happened a couple of times, Brad. It happened at a critical time there. They were going for 2 points. And one of your linemen, I don't think it's always been Bibla. I think it might have been some others, but is it the quarterback moving too slowly? I think sometimes it is, but I think most of the time it's your offensive lineman trying to get a step. When the ball snapped, they're moving their foot. It's a false step. They drop back, and they catch one of the feet of the quarterback.
I bet you it was always Larry Little's fault.
Yeah.
Or Langer, or somebody.
And when it was, I said, boy, you guys are quick.
So the Hurricanes have cut it to 21-9. Derek Johnson, Rich Alexis back waiting on a kick. They're going to fight over it a little bit, and it's Johnson from the 12. No, I beg your pardon, it's Alexis from the 12. And the Huskies will go back to work on offense after we remind you college football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Dodge. In a perfect world, everything would be different. Morgan Stanley, Dean Witter. Move your money, get well connected. Burger King got the urge, and Nortel Networks. We're building the new high-performance internet. You look in from the lake and into Husky Stadium. I don't know if that's Bob and Flo's boat right there or not that we were on the other night.
That was a nice boat.
Sure was. First down at the 25. Tuiasosopo in trouble, and they got him. Wrapped him up. Quincy Hips was the first guy there, and then he got help from his friends. Marcus Tuiasosopo hasn't done many things wrong in this football game. Both with his arm, hooking up with Elstrom, then with his feet from 13 yards out for a touchdown. And then to Stevens, his tight end, right before halftime. That's what he's done so far today. Just got sacked a moment ago, but pretty good numbers. Completed his last 6, 148, and a touchdown. He's got second down and 12 here with an empty backfield. Now he's completed 7 in a row. And here's Stevens in the open field. The big fella rumbles all the way out to the 49-yard line. A 26-yard pickup to his tight end.
Gets away from the linebacker. Here he is right here. He's just going to come down, break to the outside. Right there, it's just a missed tackle. The linebacker should have stayed inside. There has a corner help on the outside. Big play.
Almost to midfield. First down for the Huskies. On the option, pitch to Alexis, the freshman. Open field inside the 40. Down the sideline. He's going to go. Touchdown, Washington. The true freshman, Rich Alexis from Coral Springs, Florida. And he just made his hometown team, Miami, a little bit sadder. 50-yard touchdown.
They only have 2 players from the state of Florida on this team, and they're both from the same high school.
John Paul II, there's some happy folks there. 50-yard score just like that.
Anderson, the kicker, is the other one.
Here he comes.
Is from that high school.
He missed it, though. Hooked it to the left.
And I think they have a receiver on the sideline that's being recruited here today from that same high school.
Well, the recruits that are in here are seeing an eye-opener.
The option. A quick toss. Good blocking on the outside. And Alexis, a true freshman with speed, scores quickly where Miami took forever to score their touchdown in the second half.
They talked so highly of this young fella and said, you know, maybe he's the answer somewhere down the line. Well, he's sure giving them reason to think about it.
No, he's not even listed on the depth chart. They list 3 or 4 running backs, and you still don't see the name Alexis. But they said, you better put him on there.
Played only 1 season of high school football. He missed 9 games as a senior last year due to injuries. And he has just splashed on the Husky Stadium scene. Dan Morgan trying to load up on the fluids. His day's far from over, but his offense is going to have to help because now it's 27-9.
And that's why that was there, because the Hurricanes were trying to shut down Tuiasosopo. Take it out of the quarterback's hands and put it in somebody else's. Well, that somebody else just had a big score.
Kick is deep. 5 yards in. Andre Johnson will not bring it out. Bob was talking about how the Pac-10 has made some statements. We mentioned earlier, 3rd ranked at that time, Alabama fell to UCLA. Penn State got crunched by USC in the kickoff classic. Wisconsin leading Oregon. Colorado, USC, a lot of you will see that one later on tonight. And Ohio State's got to go out to Sun Devil Stadium to play Arizona State. But they went 7-0 in the first couple weeks, did the Pac-10 against non-conference opponents. And right now, Washington looking to add to it. Handoff. There's a little bit of running room. Clinton Portis. I like Clinton Portis.
Yeah, he's got a little shake and bake and a little zing to him.
And he's got a first down, too. Portis, as Bob talked about last year, 500-yard rushing games, which was a freshman record.
And he had one last week.
Yep. He could be the quickest guy to 1,000 yards in Miami running back history. There's pretty good names on there. When you talk about the Chuck Foremans and the Otis Andersons and the Edgerton James and those guys. There's a missed pass that Daryl Jones is still looking for right between his hands.
They're just a little off. Still a little bit off. The combination, they had it. They were hot last week. Let me show you here. Here's the corners go to blitz. The corner's up in the. They see it coming. See the corner blitz. Now what he sees, he's going to hit the other receiver before the defensive back gets there. Just a little timing problem, not connected.
When are they going to hook up with Santana Moss? 2nd and 10. Draw play. Opening. Here's Portis in the open field. Across the 50, 40. He might go. Got one man to beat. He won't get there as Omari Lowe stayed with him, but a great run by Portis. He is their home run hitter.
He is, and he ran just like that. Last week he had a big 82-yard touchdown run against McNeese State, and Omari Lowe, he must have had some pickle juice. He got in there, got some of that juice, and he came back out. Good blocking at the point of attack.
61 yards later for Portis.
You know, it's going to be hard for Butch Davis to not play Portis because he makes something happen.
You're absolutely right. 1st and goal. Davenport in now at the tailback spot. Here's a stretch play to him. Najee Davenport, touchdown. Just like that, the Hurricane score.
That's impressive.
And that quiets the crowd for the first time almost all day.
I think that's the first time I haven't seen Rick chattering into that headphone.
He told us he's a chatterbox. He said, I never shut up in that thing.
He says Lou Holtz walks and I talk.
Yep. And here's Najee Davenport not walking but rumbling to the corner. Got a nice block from Nick Partland. And that helped free him on that side. And they're going to go for 2 again. 3 wideouts.
Look for the blitz here.
Jones in motion toward the ball. That's who he wants to go to, but he had to force it. And it's scooped off the ground by Farms. So there goes 2 points that they could have had they taken kicks. It would have been a 10-point game, but that's hindsight. It is 27-15.
The Hurricanes have to stop the Husky offense. The Husky offense hasn't got on the field much this second half, and when they did, they were 3 and out on a punt, and then they took it very quickly for a touchdown.
They got a pass play to Stevens, their tight end, and then Alexis on the next snap went 50 yards for the score. But Miami's got to be feeling a little bit better. Now you start to think that this thing might turn into a little bit of a shootout. 12-point game, 5:23 to go, third quarter. And the Hurricanes know, as you see Dan Morgan there a minute ago stalking the sidelines, that they've got to stop that guy. What Miami needs is a 3 and out and get the ball back. It's amazing. We had a forecast of 64 degrees and probably rain, and we've had more sun than we've had anything today.
So you're up here in the great Northwest. The weather can change very quickly.
I know I shouldn't even say that.
Yeah. Yeah. You better bring some rain.
Severs set to kick the scoring drive, 80 yards in 4 plays, and most of it was Portis' 61-yard gallop.
The best thing for Dorsey is a running game.
Derek Johnson going to let this one go. Goes out of bounds. He got a break there. It almost didn't make the end zone, and it finally took a left. And they'll bring that out to the 35. Coming up next Saturday on ABC, regional action. Some of you will see a classic Big Ten, Pac-10 matchup as the Wolverines have to travel to meet the Bruins of UCLA. Other games include North Carolina and second-ranked Florida State. And Rick Neuheisel makes his return to Boulder as these Huskies take on Colorado. That's next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern. Check your local listings for the details. Get all your games on pay-per-view by calling your local cable or satellite company. As Marcus Tuiasosopo huddles his troops and brings them out on the field, they'll have a first down at their own 35-yard line. Miami starting to put it together in the second half.
They have not stopped Tuiasosopo yet either.
2 tight end set for the man they call Tui. Here he is on the option. And the late pitch to Arnold. And I thought he stepped out of bounds, but apparently not. Kept his footing out to the 44-yard line. I thought he was going to tiptoe out at about the 38, but he planted that thing and cut it back up the field for a couple extra yards.
The one thing you want to be wary of if you're a Husky is the fumble on the option. They led the conference in fumbles last year, and every time you pitch the ball, and like he's doing right there, you're take a chance of fumbling the football.
A couple senior captains letting each other know they're both on the field. Dan Morgan said, Marcus, I'm still here.
Yep.
But a pickup out to the 44 of 9, second and a yard. Conniff, he ran into a convoy led by Morgan and Hips again. Let's check in with John and Terry at Times Square Stadium, guys.
Brad, we told you about Wisconsin grabbing the lead on Michael Bennett's 50-yard touchdown run. Well, this time, 75 yards. And again, breaking tackles, taking it to the end zone. 75-yard touchdown, Wisconsin now with their third TD of the game, leading it 20-9.
One thing about Bennett, you give him a crease and you can say, I'm a track guy, goodbye.
Yeah, he's a track man. He's a little faster than Ron Dane, although Dane was surprisingly quick.
Yes, he was. Here's Alexis, who went 50 yards for a score last time. There's a flag flying into the fray. This might be a holding, which would negate a first down on a 3rd and 1. That one flown in the general direction, at least, of holding. And it is. Nebraska in overtime has beaten Notre Dame.
Wow. Whew. Well, we can officially say Notre Dame is back, and good for Bob Davie.
Yep. Must have been a dandy.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards, spot of the foul, still third down.
So a near upset in South Bend, and here at Husky Stadium in Seattle, there's one in the making. Number 15 Washington leading number 4 Miami. 27-15 the score with 4:20 left third quarter. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan with you in a packed house at Husky Stadium, where they have done just about everything right except that last play, a holding on a 3rd and 1's a no-no. Now they've got 3rd and 11. Here comes a delayed blitz. Tuiasosopo in trouble. Marcus is going down, lost the ball.
Look out.
The Canes trying to scoop it, and they do. Dan Morgan's got it at the 16-yard line.
Just mentioned the fumbles. There's a flag.
Penalty marker at the end of the play.
And Rick knows that the only way that he can lose this is if he helps the Hurricanes by dropping the ball.
After the play was over, dead ball, personal foul on the defense, half the distance, first down.
So you add insult to injury there. Tuiasosopo talking with Neuheisel. He lost the handle.
Let's take a look. He's looking downfield. They have a blitz. He's trying to make something out of nothing. There is a time to put it away and go down. The Hurricanes get on the ball, and I think that's the foul right there on Silvers, number 68, the late hit.
And Morgan, the linebacker, you see, cover it right there. And then they tack on the half the distance, and it's down to the 8-yard line.
Talking about the fumbling, leading the conference in fumbles. There it was.
Reggie Wayne to the top of your screen. He's their fade man if they throw, but they'll keep it on the ground, and it's James Jackson, touchdown. Just like that, one play can turn a game, and Jackson scores from 8 yards out.
How quickly things change on turnovers. And now Miami and their morale and their momentum is back. They think they can come back and win this game.
Yes, they do.
That's Wilkins, 72. He's looking for somebody to block. There is nobody.
Seavers' extra point is up and good. They'll just take the one there. Quit worrying about those 2-point conversions, and they make it a 5-point ball game. 27-22 on James Jackson's 8-yard touchdown. And again, it followed a turnover. The second half kind of starting to belong to Miami now. In the second half, first it was Dorsey lobbing one out there. Reggie Wayne caught it twice as he bobbled it. Alexis came back, 50-yard touchdown, the first time he's touched it today. The freshman takes it all the way to the end zone. Back comes Najee Davenport. He'll score for Miami. Then after the turnover, Jackson on the counter, cuts inside a moment ago, and all of a sudden it's 27-22.
Big plays, huh?
Big plays on both sides.
Big plays and turnovers. And it's kind of gotten into the way that Miami wanted to play it. Some big plays. Huskies wanted to slow it down. First downs, ball control.
And they did in the first half.
Time of possession, and they did. And they were up by 18 points.
They had a 9-minute advantage in time of possession.
Now they only have a 3-minute advantage.
Plus, when you score in 5 seconds after a turnover, you don't need much time of possession. And that's what the last scoring drive was. Seavers kicks. Johnson will let it go again. That's back-to-back times now that they have taken over on a penalty at the 35-yard line. John and Terry in New York at Times Square Stadium, guys.
Brad, the Irish had a tremendous day, but just came up short. They grabbed the lead on a field goal in overtime, but Eric Crouch was his 3rd touchdown rushing on the day, and Nebraska escapes South Bend with a 27-24 victory. Brad.
One of those guys, Eric Crouch, much like Tuiasosopo here, he just does it all.
You tell me about the best quarterback in the country, the all-purpose quarterback all around. Give me Eric Crouch, and you can have anybody else you want. All-purpose, run and pass.
I might take this guy under center at least as a close second, or in the top 5 anyway. Only about a yard for Braxton Clement, maybe not even that much. Damian Lewis involved in on the tackle. Coming up Thursday, ESPN's coverage of college football continues. Mississippi State will take on Lavelle Edwards. Cougars from Provo. Coverage starts 7:30 Eastern with college football tonight, presented by Gateway. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Mike and Kurt, And Lee will bring you all the action Thursday night at 7:30.
Good for Lavelle Edwards. Glad to see him getting things back squared away last year for Lavelle.
Overtime win last week. Today they were fighting with Air Force. High pass intended for Elstrom. And he almost had his head taken off down there. Let's check in with Swanee.
Oh, Brad, this is a Sears National Championship trophy, and the way the top teams are playing across the country today, I don't know if it's a football or a hot potato. You know, the wind of change is happening, and speaking of wind, there's a strong wind that's been blowing throughout this ball game from the far left corner right across the field to the near right corner. And with the quarter coming down to an end, 2:59 to play in this third quarter, the Washington Huskies are going to lose a favored win in the fourth quarter.
Good point. They lead by 5, but they've got a 3rd and 10 in an empty backfield behind Tuiasosopo. Marcus, quick pass over the middle, is tight end. That's been his ace in the hole all day long.
They got him with formation. They got him with a formation.
5th catch for Stevens for 79 yards today.
It's what Rick Neuheisel told Swanee going into halftime, that we out-formationed him a little bit. Here's the tight end. He's going to come straight up the field. You've got guys spread all over the field. Nobody's there to cover him.
Out to the 49-yard line for the big 6'7" tight end, and a first down. Now, this is about the spot on the field they gave it to Alexis. He's not in there, just the fullback is. Going to see a rollout by Tuiasosopo. He throws well going to his left, sets up and fires this one nowhere.
Again, the new rule in college football is the quarterback, if he's outside the area of the tackles, can throw the ball away, but he has to throw it to or past or beyond the line of scrimmage.
He did both.
He did both. He made sure it was beyond.
Maybe he was out there in the
And I think it's a good rule change. They almost did it last year, and Dave Perry, the head of the Big Ten officials, got it through this year, and I think it's a great rule.
I do too. 2nd and 10. Again, Conniff's going to clear out that backfield. Marcus running out of time, drills it down the middle, flags down in a couple different spots. There's one on the near side, and there's one nearer the line of scrimmage.
There's one in the defensive secondary, and then there's one like where there might be holding or offside.
Chuck McFerrin will let us know after he gets done conferring with the other officials. And we don't know, because I don't think they do yet.
I think it's going to be
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding of an eligible receiver on the defense. That penalty is. Second foul is pass interference on the defense.
All right.
15 at the previous spot. First down.
Huskies just looking for the better of the two. And Butch Davis can't believe it. They're going to call it on Myers. I guess he was the one that was the deeper of the 2 downfield, where one flag flew into the secondary. The other one, as we said, was more around the line of scrimmage or in the neutral zone.
Well, both of them were on Miami.
Yep.
So
either way, it's first down.
And you're exactly right. That's the key.
So Dan Morgan looks to the sideline, makes the call in that defensive huddle, and the Canes defense knows they've got to slow down Washington to give it back to their offense.
Exactly, and the Huskies need to stay on the field and get some points to get the momentum back.
Tuiasosopo now changing things up.
The home team can check off.
Yeah. Here's a pitch to Willie Hurst, and he goes down. And it's Chris Campbell, the outside linebacker, who made the hit. Campbell, who stepped in last year for the injured Michael Smith and ended up starting 9 games, and he's had a pretty good outing today.
He has. The Hurricanes returned 8 starters to this defense, all 4 of the defensive backs. The guy that's not there, it would have been the 9th starter, is Nate Webster. He was a middle linebacker and drafted in the 1st round of the NFL draft, and he changed his mind and couldn't keep his eligibility, right. So he had to go on.
Like you said, if there wasn't fax machines, he'd still be playing.
Yeah, he faxed. He faxed it in there, and then he's, whoa, yeah. I didn't mean to do that. Pull that back.
You can't pull that back through the phone line.
Couldn't pull it back. You got to go.
144. remaining in the third quarter. You know, I was talking a second ago about Marcus Tuiasosopo checking off at the line, and in Greasy's glossary, we had a long talk about this last night, these check with me plays and all of that. Tell us about it.
Well, there's a lot of different ways to check off, but in the huddle with a check with me, the quarterback will call 2 plays. He'll call one to the right and one to the left. And then when he gets to the line of scrimmage, he'll select by looking at the defense which direction he wants that play to go. So the team at the line, they know that it's going to be a check off, but all they're listening for is which direction. For instance, we're going to either run toss 38 straight, which is right play, or toss 39 straight, and I'll let you know when I get to the line of scrimmage.
Up to the line of scrimmage they come, just outside the 40, where it's 2nd down and 14. Conniff will be in motion out of that backfield. They're going to throw it that way. He's open.
Wide open.
Sopo threw it low and behind him. Maybe tried to hurry that a bit too much. I think Marcus' eyes got big and he tried to get it out there too fast.
Yeah, this is one that got away from him. This receiver Conniff, he's going to come right out here and he's going to hook up. And watches when he throws out there, and nobody near him, or he could have caught it and maybe run 10 yards.
Yep.
But it was good. It was a good planning, poor execution.
So now it's a 3 wide receiver set, all to the left side. Saw the 3rd down passing for Tuiasosopo. Marcus 3rd and 14 here. Has plenty of time. Down the middle, got his man. He's going to get another first down. On 3rd and 14, he got 15 to Justin Robbins.
I think they found themselves a pretty good wide receiver in true freshman Justin Robbins.
Out of Olympia, Washington.
Justin hasn't even been to class yet. They don't start school around here till the end of September. Look at the protection. Nobody is there.
And the guy on the other end is a guy that Rick Neuheisel calls the natural. That's what he calls Justin Robbins. Had his first career catch last week, and he's starting to put it together today.
3 catches, all for first downs.
Here's Tuiasosopo on the keeper, and Morgan drags him down. The 2 seniors going head-to-head, pickup of about 2. Talking about Justin Robbins, his high school coach is Danny Green, who was a wide receiver for the Huskies here back in the 80s.
I remember him.
Nice little combination there. Sometimes that pays off. The connections help, and there's a kid that got him a big first down.
Well, they needed some receivers to step up because going into the year, Todd Elstrom was the only receiver that had ever caught a pass.
Yeah. 2nd down. Final half minute of the 3rd quarter, and what has become now a close and exciting game. It was all Washington at one point. And timeout taken by the Huskies. So they're down to 2. Miami, actually both teams each with 1 timeout remaining as Morgan comes over to talk to his head coach. We talked about 1991 with a little bit of history between these 2 teams. January 1st was a big day in '92 as Don James Husky squad went to Pasadena. Billy Joe Hobart a touchdown pass. And the Huskies finished off the Wolverines while Gino Torretta led the Hurricanes down the field on the first possession. Canes never looked back, had a 22-0 win, and those 2 clubs ended up on top of their respective polls, and so they can argue forever about that one. In fact, at that time, I remember Sports Illustrated came out and said, okay, let's get these 2 teams together and we'll play them. They did one of those computer things which didn't mean anything. They would have rather gotten together on the field. Then they did in '94, and that's where the long winning streak snapped by Miami.
Canes, of course, won 4 national championships. I think it was 83, 85, 87, or something like that. They won the odd years they won.
Yep.
85, 7, 9, and 91, or something like that.
Dominance in the late 80s and early 90s, yes. And then you mix in Washington in '91. And both teams have had to go through NCAA sanctions, and you got to give these programs credit for the last decade to put it back together.
Both these coaches. Neuheisel came in last year and has done a great job. And Butch Davis, what a great job he's done. They took 31 scholarships away from him. His program is down. Now it's back to where it was.
Tuiasosopo, play action down the middle. Oh, nice play by Mike Rump. And now they got a flag.
Yeah.
I thought he played around it, but I guess he played through it. And I think Butch Davis just said that's unbelievable. Looked like a pretty nice play from the junior from at Delray Beach, but it'll be apparently an interference call that's going to give the Huskies another first down.
Well, let's take a look. It's going to be to the left, top left of the screen.
Ooh, man.
I don't know.
Maybe just an instant before it got there, I guess.
He didn't get him with his left hand. If anything, he may have bumped chest.
Yeah.
He bumped him with his chest. But it, I mean, I don't know how the official on that side could call that, because he was blocked out by the body of the defender.
Not to mention, we had it in slow motion, and it was pretty much instantaneous. That's a pretty tight call there. They move the sticks. It doesn't matter what we think. That is the 8th penalty.
Officials are from the Pac-10.
At the 13, first down. Rich Alexis, the freshman's back in there at the tailback spot for the Huskies. They lead 27-22. Knocking on the Canes' door again. On the option, Tuiasosopo's got a crease. And he put the ball on the ground, and his head hit the ground too, but it's a dead ball inside the 5, a pickup of about 8. Mike Rump just knocked him on his rump. Actually knocked him on his head. Marcus is going to feel that one tomorrow. But he'll take it because it's down inside the 5, and they're going to switch ends. 15 minutes to play between number 15 and number 4. ABC Sports presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
This is a rental car. It's just a car, not even your car. So what's the big difference when you're choosing? Price. You search, get the rates, and what you're really looking for is a great car at a low rate. That's thrifty. Just the things you'd expect from a worldwide car rental company. Things like great cars, great service, airline miles, Blue Chip Express program, the works, and at a low rate. So the next time you need a rental car, call Thrifty. Just what you want, just Thrifty.
Presenting the best minivan ever. The only one available with power sliding doors and a power hatch. Nothing else is remotely like it. The all-new Dodge Grand Caravan. Different.
It's ABC's new Friday lineup, now starting at 9:30, 8:30 Central.
Hi, son. We'll talk later.
Look for Madigan men to make a strong contribution to ABC's new Friday night.
So I had fun. I'll call you. Yeah, okay. Well. Hey. Next time I'll remember to bring enough cash for both of us.
Next time, use your First Union Visa check card instead of cash. It's fast, easy, and accepted everywhere Visa is, so you can get what you need and get on with life. Make all your shopping easier with the First Union Visa check card, the card that works like a check, only better.
Simple and accessible plans for everybody. That's Verizon Wireless. And right now, there's never been a better time to join in. Get 3 months of mobile web access free and the $50 mail-in rebate on an AudioVox 9000 digital phone. Come into a Verizon Wireless communication store near you or call 1-888-466-4646. Mobile web from Verizon Wireless. Join in.
Driving tests just got easier. Details Monday at 5.
The Huskies would like to put it right near that pylon right now as they start the 4th quarter at the Hurricane 4-yard line. With a 5-point lead, the Huskies trying to put it on the Hurricanes again. Willie Hurst, did he get there? Not quite. To the 1. On the first play of the 4th quarter, it is now 1st and goal on the run by Hurst inside the 1-yard line. So the Huskies just that close, 2 feet away from putting another touchdown up.
That's a big, experienced offensive line up front. Silvers, Fraze, Ben, Ward, and Call.
This thing's been a 13-play drive, Bob.
4 seniors and 1 junior in that offensive line.
3 tight ends, Conniff the fullback in front of Willie Hurst. It's Conniff, touchdown. The old junior high and high school teammate battery. Tuiasa Sopo, the handoff to his roommate and buddy Conniff, the fullback for the touchdown.
It must have been a pretty good high school football team.
Woodinville High. I think they weren't too bad. So they needed some insurance, and they just got it to cap a 65-yard drive.
Exactly. They came back and answered. Miami has scored 3 touchdowns on their last 3 possessions.
Extra point. Up and good. 30 seconds into the 4th quarter. It's the Huskies leading by 12.
So what's on for today?
Boss wants you, me, and Charlie to take the new Silverado and move them bales.
Is that Charlie?
Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup.
Then we gotta water the herd.
300 horses make it more powerful.
If there's any daylight left, we'll take Norm up to see the ladies.
More powerful than Ford and Dodge. That's why it's the truck. Silverado from Chevy.
Well, guess that's enough for today.
Great resume. What else you got?
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Chili's baby back ribs, yeah, yeah. Barbecue sauce.
We argue all the time as to who has the better lawn, and really, Scott's does it for all 3 of us.
Now, during the summer, my grass takes a beating. What the grass needs is Turf Builder. It pumps it up, it rejuvenates it.
You gotta feed it.
Fall is the best time of year to put down Scott's Turf Builder.
I like new things, especially when they get old.
Like keeping things around? Good news. Introducing Valvoline Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. Max Life conditions use seals to help prevent leaks and helps keep your high mileage engine performing for a long, long time.
Son, another 100,000 miles and this baby will be yours.
It's ABC's new Friday lineup, and the crowd is going wild for Norm at 9/8 Central. Good Lord. He's got an unorthodox style, but you can't argue with success on the new ABC Friday.
Sold out Husky Stadium in Seattle, watching a shocker take place as the hometown Huskies, in their 81st year of playing here, have a 34-22 lead on the number 4 team in the country. Rick Neuheisel's Huskies ranked 15th. Butch Davis' team came in ranked number 4th, their highest national ranking in 6 years. And a young quarterback named Dorsey has found the sledding tough in the great Northwest. And the Huskies just added another touchdown to cap a 65-yard drive, and now here's the kickoff. It'll be fielded by Johnson, and he only got to about the 24-yard line. And Lynn Swans with an old friend on the sideline.
Thank you, Brad. Coach Jim Lambright, there's a lot of football left, but you were the head coach when Miami was upset and you stopped that 58-game home winning streak. This game today bring back a lot of memories?
I'll tell you, it sure does. What a great start for a Husky team that needs a sort of a win to establish a new coaching staff with their players in a national sense.
Coach, what will a win like this do for a program?
A win like this adds to your reputation around the nation. Everybody knows that recruiting is the name of the game, and you have to be able to recruit in Miami, Florida.
All right. Rick Neuheisel said when he took this job, before he took this job, he called you and he called Don James and said that if you were going to take the job, he'd have to have an okay from the 2 of you.
And he did just that, and he has my total support. He's doing a great job.
Coach, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
Jim, a good man, good coach,
Yes,
long-time assistant before he took over for Don James.
He's here around 29, 30 years he's been associated with this school.
Here's McPartland, the fullback. Looks like he's got a first down. Right now, Miami not trying to do it in huge chunks. They know they've got plenty of time to work, but they need points on this drive probably.
Well, they need to answer. They need to come back and do something with the ball. They've got the wind at their back, and they had the momentum, and they just got it stolen away from them a little bit. But this seems to be an offensive second half. The defenses have been very quiet.
Your man and my man back in the backfield, Portis. 3 wide out so for Dorsey as the sun breaks through. Here's Portis. And he almost broke through, but a flag flies in. And if this is a holding call, that's going to back him up. Penalty against the Hurricanes. There's never a good time for a penalty, but they sure had some untimely ones today.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty, spot of the foul.
Near the conclusion of our game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. So this will back it up inside the 25 now.
That's 8 penalties for 81 yards against the Hurricanes. And we just started the 4th quarter.
First and 20. Santana Moss has been a non-factor. Ball loose. Fumble recovery by Triplett, I think, on the bottom. That'll mean he'll have a blocked field goal and a fumble recovery today. That big guy's not giving up that football. Dorsey just never had control of the snap.
It all starts with the holding penalty. Then you sit back. Now you're going to be a pass rush. The linemen try to get back quicker. The quarterback tries to get out of there quicker. It's a sure passing situation, and the ball is free.
The lone returning starter on that defensive line from last year, Larry Triplett. And he's just come up with his second big play of the day.
So many things go into making up of a football team. You got to have good players. You got to have talent, but you got to have discipline, and you got to have character, and you got to have experience, and there's so many things that come involved through the course of a ball game. It's like a war.
Washington takes its final timeout, but they do have the lead, 34-22.
Harvey. Hey, Ted.
That was my last one.
Moving on, guys. He's dry.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Eat it.
Make it a Bud Light.
How did Burger King get exclusive Backstreet Boys music? Simple. We wined them and dined them like only we can. Now get live music from the Millennium Tour and a new song, It's True, from their upcoming album on 3 CDs for just $2.99 each with any value meal.
Chevy Blazer LT, the only vehicle in its class with OnStar and lots of other security features. A little security in an insecure world. Blazer, like our rock.
13-14 remaining in the ball game. There's a big defensive captain who we talked to after practice on Thursday, Larry Triplett, very personable young fella. And the lone returning starter on their front walls had a blocked field goal and a fumble recovery. The one a moment ago is giving it back to the offense just inside the Hurricane 25. Willie Hurst had a little bit of an opening. 4-yard pickup. Damian Lewis brought him down with help from Ed Reed. Butch Davis, I think right now, Bob knows that he's got to hold this team to a field goal or less right here.
Yeah, if they get a touchdown, they're going to be down. Well, they'll be down 19, maybe 20 points, and that's 3 touchdowns is too much. I think if asking for his offense to get 2 might be all right, but the defense needs to step up here.
Second down, long 6.
Got single coverage on the outside of both receivers.
They go to the option and they go straight ahead with Conniff, and he got very little. Well, this is just the first of a big college football Saturday. Coming up tonight, second half of our day night doubleheader on ABC. Some of you'll see Chris Weinke in Florida State against Georgia Tech. Others will see Colorado take on number 12 USC. That's tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Check the local listings for details, or get both of those games on pay-per-view by calling your local cable or satellite company. Dan Morgan directing that defense. They've got to stop Marcus Tuiasosopo and company on a 3rd and 7. Marcus with time, got hit as he threw, and it's intercepted by Morgan. And Morgan coming back the other way. So those are the two seniors that have been going at it all day. Chris Campbell with the hit on Tuiasosopo, and Miami gets the turnover they desperately needed.
Campbell from over here going to get some pressure.
Just as he tried to throw.
Just enough. Just got there in the nick of time to knock the ball off its line. And Tuiasosopo had a chance. He had a receiver in the end zone that could have made a play.
And Bob, there's a late hit, right? A little push right near the end of that personal foul on the Huskies. So you take the turnover and you tack 15, and all of a sudden you got the Hurricanes doing business out past the 40-yard line.
That's what Miami needed. They needed the defense to step up with a turnover. And now they're back in business. They can 2 scores and they're back in it.
I may have said past the 40-yard line, past the 30-yard line, at the 34. Here's the counter. Davenport running straight ahead. Portis rather. And Daniels with the big hit from his linebacker position. So we're down to 11.5 minutes. Washington trying to pull the upset, leading 34-22, as the Huskies have sort of controlled things all day long. But now with the interception by Dan Morgan, it's given the Hurricanes new life. If their offense can find something here, we're going to have a ball game right down to the end. Nowhere to run for Portis.
Yeah, of the 3 backs for Miami that they've used today, it seems as though Portis has the most big play ability. With the speed, he's already done it one time today. He did it last week, and I think that's what he's looking for. He's not taking it up in there when nothing is there. He's looking around to try and bounce outside.
And the Hurricanes All-American wide receiver Santana Moss, all he's doing is gathering moss so far today. They have not been able to get him unleashed. He's in the slot to the left on a 3rd down and 7. Dorsey looks one way, comes back the other, and it's incomplete. Intended for Jones. Miami not happy with itself, and neither is their sophomore quarterback, you can tell. Going to have to give it up again.
Well, Miami knew, Butch Davis knew going into the season that he was going to be very thin at quarterback. He wanted to go to his tight end, came off of him and went the other way.
Quick snap to Capshaw to kick before Derek Johnson really got in position, but he makes the catch anyway at the 22 and goes down immediately. As Andre Johnson got down there on the special teams to make the stop. Well, 10:23 remaining, 34-22.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Tahoe. Now offering a 3rd row of seats that's light and easier to handle than anything else out there. It's nowhere near anything. The new Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
Select road. Validating tires.
What kind of road can you drive on with BF Goodrich tires?
Enjoy.
Any road you choose. And now we've been ranked best original equipment tire for light truck vehicles and customer satisfaction by J.D. Power & Associates. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
Now this is the fierce snake, the most venomous snake in the world. One bite from him and it's all over. Yo! Oh, no worries, mate. Luckily, we've had the anti-venom sent from America via FedEx. In my line of work, if you're not absolutely sure, you're absolutely dead. Oh, crikey. It appears we've used a different courier who hasn't arrived yet. It's okay because...
Michigan, UCLA, or other regional action next Saturday on ABC.
10:23 to play in the ball game. 34-22 it remains, and the Huskies now take over after Miami had nothing but a 3-and-out the last time they touched it. A waste of an interception by Morgan. Tuiasosopo, surprisingly to me, to throw. Now he's got open field. He won't throw it. Got a first down. Probably would like to have stayed in bounds, but he'll take it out to the 43, an 18-yard gallop.
See, that's the extra dimension. I was talking to Greg Schiano, the defensive coordinator for the Hurricanes, and he says when we play a team that doesn't have an option, I save myself 6 to 7 hours a week in extra work. And because you're really playing 11 defensive guys on 10. But when you have a guy that can run the option and scramble like this, he has to work harder, and it's like 11 guys against 11.
He's working on another one of those 300-yard total offense days if he keeps going in this direction. First down just outside the 43. Marcus, quick throw outside. Ooh, what a catch. Wilbur Hooks hooked that one. The thing looked like it was flying out of bounds, and he caught the back end of it, pick up a 4, and we're down to 10 minutes. Nebraska held on to beat Notre Dame in overtime. Number 2 Florida State, you'll see them against Georgia Tech on many of these ABC stations tonight. Michigan rolled on Rice big time. See some of the other scores of games continuing. Here we've got 34-22. And we're under double digits. 9:35 to go. Flags on the play. Tuiasosopo on the way. And again, a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage.
Just great ball handling and deception on the part of the Huskies running the option. Every Hurricane was in there trying to tackle the fullback. They thought the fullback had it. Blades number 7 jumped inside. Against options, you got to play assignment football. You got to stay outside. If your read is tackling the fullback, you got to tackle him. If you got to take the quarterback, you stay in that lane, and you got to take the pitch. You got to stay wide. You got to stay wide all the way along the line of scrimmage.
Well, the sad thing for Marcus and the offense is it was illegal procedure on that penalty that I called, and they'll bring it all back.
Oh, Brad and Bob, what I found really interesting was Rick Neuheisel was talking about how they do not want to coach Tuiasosopo out of running the football. You get so many of the young guys who can run playing the quarterback position, and they want to fight against running it, so they drop back in the pocket and say, I'm not going to run, I'm not going to run. You know, because of his situation, they encourage him to run, but be smart about it.
A second down 11 now. Marcus over the middle, got it to his tight end again. He just keeps sliding it in there to Jeremy Stevens. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York.
Brad, Ron Dane is taking the Heisman and moved on to New York, and they may forget about him in a hurry. Michael Bennett, touchdown runs of 50, 75, and now 83 yards, doesn't go into the end zone for the touchdown, but right down to the 1, which sets up a run by Bollinger. Wisconsin has grabbed the lead again. 272 yards for Bennett. Brad.
Wisconsin has got to be the favorite in that league this year. The one tough game in a couple of weeks over at Michigan.
Well, I don't know if they can get that far undefeated with all the people they have to keep out, but they're doing it so far against a Duck team that's hanging in with them. Conniff on a little crossing pattern picks up a big first down. The old Woodinville connection. Marcus points at him. He says, all right, Roomy, you're buying pizza.
We've been doing this for a long time.
Since 8th grade.
I think the Hurricanes got to be a little bit concerned about their defense. They didn't play well last week against McNeese State, and certainly the Huskies have 34 points on the board, and they're moving.
The Miami offense would like another chance, but right now it's the offense of the Huskies in control. First down at the 45. Just got the play off. The throw, a dangerous one. Oh boy. I'm telling you, if Ed Reed would have grabbed that one, forget about it.
Exactly. Reed was in a position to make a play. He had to get rid of the ball. Take a look from from behind. Now he's got to throw right now because the defensive man, he didn't have time to throw to check to see if there's a defensive guy over there. He just threw it, hoping that there wasn't.
Time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report with John and Terry. We've got 8 minutes, 11 seconds remaining here. A second down and 10 for the Huskies. Tuiasosopo stands in, lofts one, ricocheted, and again, the defense gets at least a hand on it. Reed was in coverage, and that stops the clock. That's back-to-back times now. The clock stops with the incomplete passes of Tuiasosopo.
You know, you'd think they'd be running the football and just taking time off the clock because that's what they've got plenty of points. They just need time off the clock. But I think what they're trying to do is move the ball any way they can. And I think Rick has confidence in Marcus that he can throw it.
Well, they can play a little bit with a 12-point lead.
I'd go back to that option they ran a little earlier, though. They called back on this penalty.
Blitz coming.
Screen.
Hurst, nowhere. Morgan got him first and then got help over there defensively. And they're going to have to give it up now. And remember, how many times can you punt to number 6 before he makes something happen?
Well, Moss hasn't done much today.
Nothing.
Taking him out of the game. As you know, they played against some other good punt returners around. Remember David Allen from Kansas State.
And they had Ben Kelly up at Colorado.
How about kid Northcutt last year? And,
from Arizona.
Adeltha O'Neill from California. Now he's with the Broncos.
So this is not the first time they've seen a good punt return.
They take a lot of pride. They said this is their Cadillac of their special teams, this punt team.
Now, it's been an Edsel today. The last punt went 9 yards for Fleming. We'll see what happens.
Set you up, partner.
Oh, low snap. He got rid of this one at least. Santana open field at the 20. Made one man miss. Nice coverage. And it's Akbar down there to make the hit.
He's a starting free safety. Elstrom right there. Stevens, they all start.
Miami's got it back with just over 7 to play.
This is pretty basic. It just says that you, the Backstreet Boys, agreed to provide Burger King with an exclusive new video, yada yada.
And what's the yada yada?
A little commercial.
Forget it. We don't do commercials. Not our style, man.
We wouldn't even do this for lifetime supply of free Whoppers.
All the pickles on the lettuce, special orders, don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way.
Does that rock or what?
The new Backstreet Boys video with exclusive footage is only at Burger King. Just $2.99 with any tasty value meal.
Have it your way.
The road is long and the road is tough. The road is long.
Is your car living a tough life? Better use a Tough Oil. Valvoline DuraBlend, the one strengthened with synthetics to outperform all leading conventional motor oils. Valvoline DuraBlend, tough oil for a long, tough life.
Meet Martin Delicious, Storm Chaser. Some head for the basement. He heads for a Chevy S10. It's got advantages over Ford Ranger, like better fuel economy, a bigger bed, and standard four-wheel anti-lock brakes on every model. Because if you want to outrun Mother Nature, you need every advantage you can get. Chevy S10, like our rock.
The Dell Game Solutions, you said they had to stop Tuiasosopo, and they haven't been able to.
No, they haven't. He's kind of had his way with them. And for Miami, Santana Moss, only one reception, and it's been tough going for Ken Dorsey.
He's got his hands on it again anyway at the 25. Dorsey, quick drop, slant, in and out of the hands, almost intercepted. Reggie Wayne had it, and then it was almost taken off the top of the turf by Chris Massey.
And he had him too, and he knows it. Dorsey knows it. Here's a receiver outside. He's just going to run a slant. There's going to be a lane right in here where he's going to throw the football. Right there, he just threw it too high. He could have caught it, maybe done something with it.
Dorsey's only hit 2 of his last 7, but in that case, as there's been a case a couple times, his receivers aren't helping him. On 2nd and 10, screen pass. Portis, if he can keep his footing, had one blocker. Broke another tackle. Midfield.
Look out.
Look out. One man to beat. And it's Akbar. Portis got the corner. He's going to go down the sideline. And knocked out of bounds inside the 10.
He ran out of gas. He ran so hard. He had to run so hard to get out of the way of all the 8 or 9 defenders. He eventually ran out of gas.
We said he was the guy that could be a big play performer for him, and he's silenced the crowd.
This guy has made big plays. It's a little screen pass. And all this stuff right here takes it out of you. Now he's got to run around and then down the field.
Needed some pickle juice about right there. He's going to stay in. Miami now threatening. 59-yard run by Portis. Here's a throw. Incomplete.
That's a tough day for Ken Dorsey. Even that screen pass he just completed to Portis was a little off. He had to make a good catch.
Yep.
He's throwing the ball too hard, throwing it quick. But the thing that he is doing, and he's young and he's going to learn, and he's got a tremendous upside. The thing that he is doing is even all the bad throws are not intercepted.
Right.
He hasn't had a pass intercepted. He's thrown the ball 29 times, no interceptions.
Looking for another touchdown with his team down 12. They'll try to do it on the ground. Here's a nice convoy for Portis, but it's stretched out beautifully, and it's Madavi, the linebacker. Ben Madavi, who's a big hero against Idaho with a fumble return for a touchdown and a block punt. He came up with a nice defensive play there.
Yeah, Portis is saying, hey, I need a break. I need a break. And there's Madavi, number 41, stringing it to the sideline. Fullback last year, linebacker, punt snapper. The Canes need a touchdown.
Najee Davenport's checked into the backfield. It's Moss and Wayne and Andre King as the 3 wideouts.
We got Singer coverage at the top.
3rd and 6, 2 down territory though. Dorsey hit as he threw. Santana Moss was open across the middle. I don't even know if that's where he was going with the ball. Farms got him in the arm.
Yeah, he was going. Moss was coming across. He wanted to get it to him. He just got hit. Watch him get hit right there. I think he was looking to get hit. He didn't hit him that hard. I think he was expecting and looking. I think they got this young sophomore rattled a little bit.
This might be the ball game for Miami. It's 4th and 6. Dorsey to the corner of the end zone for Moss. Did he get it? No, he's out of bounds. It was remarkable that he even got to the football.
Well, that's a tough throw and catch. Going to try Moss to the deep corner of the end zone. So you got to throw it over. I don't know. Can we run? Can we see that again? Whether he got his feet in?
Tell you what, he kicked up some dirt, didn't he?
His right foot is out of bounds.
His right foot lands out of bounds before he drags the left. That's a good call.
If he would have raised his right foot and caught the ball, his left foot was still hanging in.
That was a phenomenal grab, even though it was out of bounds.
And it was a tough throw. He had to throw it over the outside corner.
If Miami doesn't get a turnover, this thing might be over now. We check in with Swanee.
Well, guys, I think Santana Moss has had a long day, and certainly give credit to the Huskies secondary and their defensive line for putting the push on the quarterback. But he came into this ball game with a bad ankle, and he has not been able to run, make the kind of cuts he's capable of. Certainly on that play, if you've got 2 strong ankles, end zone, you can get on your tiptoes, get up on the ankles like you're talking about, Bob, and make that catch. But when you can't, and you have to rely just on one good wheel, those are the kind of catches that an injury stop you from making.
Yeah, and he's going to see that on replay and go, oh, man, that was a matter of an inch or two. Tuiasosopo hit as he throws. Stevens, a tight end, all wrapped up. Morgan comes over there to help Reed. They do a nice job of bringing down the big tight end. But we're under 5 minutes now.
So behind behind the quarterback. You got a little blitz right in his face. I'll tell you what, one of these defensive backs is going to start gambling a little bit. Reed was right there. If he would have tried not for the safe tackle, but for a big play and cut in front of him, he may have been able to make a play.
Yeah, that's been close now in the last 2 series. By one of the DBs, one of the better DB groups in the country, at least most people say that. And it's 3rd and 12, and Marcus Tuiasosopo has got to be cognizant of that fact right here. Can't make a mistake. And he's in trouble, and he throws, and it's intercepted. Al Blades, part of that secondary, the guy they call Little Blades, has the turnover.
I don't know why with 4 minutes to play, you don't want to throw from your own end zone.
You're pouring gas on a fire at this point. And in this case, Marcus got burned.
Here's Blades over here, number 7. Going to be a blitz. 44 is Morgan. You got heat up in the kitchen. You got to get out of there. No. Woo.
Reggie Wayne to the near side. This is Jackson on a cutback run. And he got only to the line of scrimmage.
Marcus just trying to do too much. The play's over with. Give it up and come back for another one. No, don't do that. Oh, my quarterbacks. I'm feeling for my quarterbacks.
I can tell.
Oh. You know, it comes from you work on those plays in practice, and you work, and they do well, and you don't want to give up on them, but you have to give up and go to the next play.
Single coverage down to the right side, and it's Reggie Wayne. They love him.
A fade.
On a fade. But it's Dorsey on a handoff to Jackson. Jackson bulling his way toward the end zone. Pick up a 5. Clock continues to be a factor now.
It does. It does. They need to score as quickly as they can and not fool around.
And here is they take another timeout. That's their final timeout. That's it for Miami.
Yeah, they used up those timeouts early on.
Well, they know they can ill afford to blow a chance here, but they're down 12, and we've only got 3:11 left in the ball game.
Bob, I'm wondering, I mean, we're talking about Ken Dorsey being a young quarterback, getting down in these crucial situations. If you were in the ball game, if you wouldn't have just spiked the ball here, saved the timeout immediately, because you've got to manage this clock, and it's one thing that only experience can give you. But would you not have spiked the ball in this situation?
Well, that would have made it 4th down, though.
Yeah, it would have, and you only give you one chance to get in there. I don't know. You got to remember, this kid's a young quarterback, and I'm sure they've, and he's on the road, and his eyes are getting a little bigger as the day goes on, and he's throwing the ball a little quicker. He's expecting to get hit, so he's had a tough day. I don't think you want to ask him to do too much. What they should do is get him outside the pocket a couple of times and let him be closer to his receiver out here, and then he can throw or either run the ball in.
I know one of the things they talked about in this ball game was the rain, hoping it might have rained a little bit. I think maybe the wind may have affected him more, because in the game today I've noticed that he doesn't have quite the arm strength that Tuiasosopo has that can cut through the wind. He's kind of a guy who's relying more on touch, and the wind has affected many more of his passes this afternoon.
Well, he's been off, there's no doubt about it, Lynn, and the wind does blow pretty good in South Florida, but I think the wind has affected him, and he's just, I don't think he's stepping in. I don't think he's following through. He's not comfortable. But this is a tremendous learning thing for him, and he's got 2 more years. He's got 3 more years. He's got this year and 2 more years at the university, and he's got a big upside potential.
Here's the learning curve continuing at the 3-yard line. 3rd down and goal. Canes need a touchdown. Play action. Throw to the corner to Wayne. Tried to make an acrobatic catch. There are flags down. Anthony Vontour got tangled up with Reggie Wayne, and it might be 1st and goal now. Let's wait and see. All of a sudden, with 72,500, you could hear a pin drop in this place. Wayne almost made that catch.
Holding of an eligible receiver by the defense. Automatic 1st down.
1st and goal.
Vontour, 23. There's the hold right there with the left arm. Yeah, good call by the official. And Vontour, took a chance. The worst thing it is, they move it to the 1-yard line. So the Canes need to score, and need to score quickly, so they preserve some time.
James Jackson's a tailback just outside the 1. First and goal. He gets the call. He is close, but not in. Canes are saying touchdown. The officials are not agreeing. Now they say touchdown.
See, the linesmen on the guys on the end of the lines have to call the touchdown. The umpire can't call it, even if he's standing right over the guy and he knows he's 3 feet inside the end zone. And if you're blocked off, you're a linesman, you come in, you got to wait till you get all the way in there so you can see him and find him.
So now the extra point by Severs upcoming to try to make it 34-29. Hurricanes need the ball back in a touchdown to pull off a miracle anyway. So an extra point here.
Bob, Brad, after that touchdown was scored, and from where I was standing on the Husky sideline, it was obviously a touchdown. But from the time they decided to call it a touchdown, a good 6 seconds had rolled off that clock to add insult to injury.
That might be what they've held play up here for, to reset it. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, that's probably what they're talking about, Len. And what Butch Davis is thinking about is, do I onside kick or do I kick it deep? I have no timeouts left. If I kick it deep, and all Washington would have to do was make 1 or 2 first downs, and they could run out the clock.
So here's the extra point coming up. And it's up and good. 34-29.
All right.
Maybe it's because I hate 2-point conversion attempts, but do you realize this game could be 34-31?
Now that's woulda, coulda, shoulda. No, they did the right thing back then when they were down by 12 points. You're down by 12. The little chart says when you're down by 12, go for 2.
Somebody's got to burn that chart. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
College football on ABC Sports brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road. Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. BF Goodrich Tires, take control. And Valvoline Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. Well, the engines have been running here, and there's no ivy growing on these two teams either right now. 34-29 in a shootout, 2:52 left.
Well, the Huskies have their good hands team on the field. They've got 10 guys up expecting an onside kick. Conniff, the starting fullback, and Lowe, the starting corner. Ware, a tight end.
Yep. Stevens, the other tight ends on the other side. So's Elstrom. So there's guys that handle the ball a lot just on the front wall.
And have been playing this whole game.
So they're warm.
Oh, yeah, they're warm, and they're into it.
Just to add a little bit of drama, Severs had the ball blow off the tee, and he's got to reset it.
In college football, you have to have at least 4 guys on both sides of the ball. Now, in the NFL, you can have a lot more, but there's 6 guys on one side and 4 on the other.
There you see them in their track stances. Here comes the onside, straight to Stevens, a line drive in the gut at the 45. That might be his biggest catch in a career-high day. He'd already caught 7 passes. That's the biggest catch of the afternoon.
He didn't hit that good. What he wanted to do was top the ball and get it to take a huge bounce. But he didn't hit it good. You want to hit the very top of the ball.
Line drive, Jeremy Stevens. We'll give that to him as his 7th catch of the day. So now first down, and as Bob said, Miami's out of timeouts. So are the Huskies, for that matter, but they're not that concerned about it. They lead by 5. And now they keep it on the ground and they lose a yard. Willie Hurst. And the clock becomes their ally. They'll bleed this for all it's worth. What they've got to do is hold on to the football.
The 25-second clock doesn't start until the official waves his arm. So you can figure about 35 seconds for each play after the play is stopped.
Marcus taking all the time he can. 2nd down and 11. There you see the play clock in the corner. A little bit of option. He'll hold on to this one and then try to get down. 2 minutes left in this one. Let's check in with John and Terry at Times Square Stadium.
Brad, Joe Harrington trying to lead back Oregon in the waning seconds here. They need the touchdown. Jamar Fletcher dives up, grabs it, his third interception of the game, and then runs out much more of the clock before finally being tackled as Wisconsin leads it 27-23. Michael Bennett, 288 on the ground.
I guess Jamar Fletcher played this game.
I guess he did, so I guess he's going to sit out Northwestern and Cincinnati. Maybe.
Yeah, he's got to miss 3 of the first 4 games, and this is the one he played.
Well, it picked a good time to play him, I guess. Tuiasosopo on a 3rd and 5. Now it'll be 4th and 5. We're going to be down under a minute the next time they snap it. And it looks like we're going to have an upset in Seattle. A little over a minute left in the ball game. Marcus Tuiasosopo talking things over with Rick Neuheisel on a 4th down upcoming. A sellout crowd has come out here in full force today, in full voice as well, and that certainly helped the cause because Miami's Ken Dorsey, the young quarterback, was rattled on many occasions, partly by that sound and that noise in this stadium in a hostile environment. And Miami has had to be swimming uphill all day long because of that.
And what they're booing about is the injury to Miami, which stops the clock.
Yeah, that's why everybody's booing right now. Marcus Tuiasosopo smiling on the sideline a little bit. He's had reason to. This was his 13-yard touchdown run in the 2nd quarter that helped give his team a commanding first-half lead. Stevens, we talked about Jeremy Stevens. Touchdown pass also in the 2nd quarter. And Tuiasosopo, this one was called back, but he's had some bright moments today and a great day total offense-wise, as has been the case so many times. As I said about an hour ago, maybe he'd be on his way to 300. He's pretty close. And now he's pretty close to one of the huge wins in this program's history, at least in the Rick Neuheisel regime.
Yeah. As we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of optimism around this school, this campus, this football program, and it's because of Rick Neuheisel.
And the officials now say timeout Washington. I thought they were out of timeouts. At any rate, it is timeout with 28 seconds remaining. Today's Chevrolet players of the game. Clinton Portis, who really gave Miami a lift with some of his long runs and got them back in this football game. And of course, Marcus Tuiasosopo, whose numbers you just saw. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. You're going to see a lot more number 28 in that backfield for Miami.
I think so too. You know, it takes more than one good running back, so they'll all get to play. And what can you say about Tuiasosopo? You know, I said at the opening, he was not a great passer, but he was an outstanding football player, and I think you saw that today. And I think in time he could work into being a great passer when he gets to a pro team that works with it. But they don't do that here, and that's not their thing.
And this kick will go in the end zone, so that won't waste any run back time, and Miami will have it at the 20 with 20 to play. And Miami, things will not be easy for them, especially now having to come on the road in this one, which looks like it's going to be a loss. At West Virginia, at Rutgers, Florida State. Well, it's Florida State, but it's home. Virginia Tech and Syracuse, they haven't been able to beat since Butch has been there.
Well, they haven't beaten Florida State either.
Right. Yeah, they're 0-10 against those three.
Yeah. So they don't have any home games in September. But here we go.
Ken Dorsey. Time running out. He's going to load it and air it down the sideline. Incomplete. Intended for Reggie Wayne.
You know, I'm a little bit surprised that Reggie Wayne was covered one-on-one, and he could have caught that ball, and the defensive back could have fallen down. I'd do that 2 more times.
Yeah. Down to 12 seconds. About 2 chances left for Miami. And if the ball stays in the field of play, they don't even have 2. Wayne, Jones, and Moss is 3 wideouts. Rolls to his right, wants to go to Moss. Going deep, overshot everybody, and it's almost intercepted back there by Akbar. And now there's one play left. Butch Davis team came in ranked 4th in the country. They're 4 seconds away from taking a 3,000-mile plane ride back home as an upset loser to Rick Neuheisel's upstart Huskies. And maybe this Husky squad should be the favorite in the Pac-10.
Well, they are, along with USC, but they don't play. The two schools don't play, so they're going to have to do it without playing.
Final play. 3 receivers out there. Dorsey going to throw it as far as he can. There'll be a jump ball, and it's pulled down by Miami, but it's all over. Rick Neuheisel's got one of the very, very big wins in his young coaching career, and this is 6th season. This one's going to taste pretty good at home. Butch Davis troops will have to regroup now. And let's go to Lynn Swan with one of the heroes of the day.
Marcus, this has to be one of the biggest victories for you. You did nickel and dime them. You came up with some big plays.
Hey, I'm proud of our defense. They stepped up. We gave them Miami a couple chances to score at the end of the game. I'm happy for them. Hey, guys, it's battle. That's what I love about these guys at the Huskies. Miami played a great game, and we were fortunate enough to win.
Thank you.
Yep.
There's your leader, the lead dog of the Huskies. Final score 34-29. So it's an upset. Number 15 picks off number 4. For Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan, I'm Brad Nessler. ABC Sports is online at bcsfootball.com. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, continuing the tradition of excellence.